¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿De dónde eres?
¿De dónde eres?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish.
Estoy muy emocionado para ir a España contigo.
Aw, he just said, I'm very excited to go to Spain with you. Vamos a tener mucha diversión.
And that means we're going to have so much fun.
Sí. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Just go to babbel.com and start learning a new language today. That's babbel.com. Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Make the right call. John Higgins weather guard. The home of the rooferys.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins weather guard. The home of the rooferys. Make the right call.
Don't miss this week's Zone Deal.
This week's half-off deal is Churco. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. From fresh pastas handcrafted daily to house dry-aged steaks and focaccia bread baked daily, Churco is perfect for date night or any night. Churco features crafted unique cocktails as well as an extensive Italian and American wine list. Churco, located at 192nd and Q and CIRCOOmaha.com.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I see the future in our public school classrooms every day. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. I also see how critically important parent and community support is to our students' success. Support your public schools. Get involved. Form a business school partnership or become a school volunteer. Great schools and great communities work hand in hand.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
KOZN Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
A crossover is
crossover dribble.
Sing for the crossover.
Kyrie Irving, crossover in the lane. One of the most famous crossovers of all time. Behind the back, an ankle breaker on Chris Paul.
Crossover.
The crossover continues to evolve.
Time for the crossover. It is presented by Everlevel Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com.
Good
morning, boys.
I'm sick of everybody talking about how they're so tired and their sleep schedules are off, and I haven't
Who's
worked.
saying that?
I've worked in.
Okay.
Feels like everybody in the office is
Everyone
in a malaise over the last 48 hours.
I was bitching and moaning yesterday because that playoff game went up until midnight, and then so coming back from the break and doing what we do in the morning.
Are you ready to go now?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay, good.
I just needed a day.
I don't know
I just want to
if
start.
Greeny did 4 hours of radio yesterday about the game ending at 1 a.m., but I also know Greeny did 4 hours of radio complaining about that game ending at 1 o'clock.
Well, he's moved on. He's moved on from the Jets, so
I'm just a really big believer in good starts. You know, I'm a really big believer in the first basket going in, scoring on your first drive, getting a run in the first inning, or going 1, 2, 3. I'm just a really big believer. So I feel like January 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, those are the most important days of our lives.
Did you guys hear this? Is this a real thing? I saw this on New Year's Eve, that there's all these like kind of weird superstitions when you ring in the New Year's. There was something about grapes or something, but standing on your right foot as soon as it goes to midnight, so you go into the new year on the right foot.
Oh, that's funny.
I had never heard that until this last year.
No.
Or the 31st.
First foot is an old tradition in Scotland and Greece. The first person who enters your home will either bring good or bad luck.
Oh.
Well, good or bad.
That's a different thing.
I was watching Dick Clark rocking New Year's Eve.
First person
And a lot of people did you eat black-eyed
Yeah.
peas? Because that also is a thing to bring you good luck.
No.
But there was something about grapes too. You're supposed to have 12 grapes.
I do love grapes. I probably had grapes on New Year's Eve.
You ever been to a black-eyed pea
concert?
I've been to a concert.
No, they used to have a restaurant.
No.
Right there on Colorado Boulevard, Denver.
Nope.
A
Went to the black-eyed pea once.
Any good?
Not memorable.
Is that like Cotton Eye Joe?
No.
Oh.
That was not like the burger joint down the street.
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
Where did you come from? Where did you go?
A lot of people watch Dick Clark's ball dropping.
When the
ratings up huge.
When the Central Time Zone went into the new year, Cardi B was singing a song.
Yeah, we got Cardi B
about her butt.
Yep.
And
what's up?
Sure.
And I was like, wow, I love 2024 already.
Yeah, normally they'll have the person on stage like count it down for the Central Time Zone. Just whoever happens to be on stage.
It's like all the trash people are here in Times Square, but let's just say
So they didn't have a
Happy New Year to
central
Nebraska.
Midwest location?
Normally they're
like they
like-
were like in Nashville or
Well,
something?
they were in
New
Nashville, but
Orleans.
Cardi B was yelling about her butt.
Yeah, maybe they timed it out wrong and she didn't get done, but it just
we wanted to know, but she was
Is there
yelling about her
something
butt.
about Cardi B's butt that I should know? I guess I haven't paid attention.
Well, she's got a lot of songs about it.
Yeah.
Really?
About her butt.
Yeah. That's all her
Did
songs
she
are
do
about.
the remix of
you're familiar,
Sir Mix-a-Lot?
right?
I like
Ooh.
big butts. I like myself.
She probably could. She probably could. But it was like
I've
the
got a big
Central
butt.
Time Zone didn't even get a new year because it was just
Really?
Cardi B talking about her butt the whole time.
True.
Where I was at, I think we had the TV on, maybe CNN.
What was Anderson Cooper talking about?
Well, him and Andy Cohen were doing shots again.
Were they
which is
hammered again?
great.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw. I did watch a little bit of that one where they saw John Mayer, who was at a cat bar. A
Yes,
bar
and they lost it.
Yeah, and Anderson Cooper, who giggles like a little schoolgirl, could not keep it together
Nice. Those guys are funny.
because he's got
They-
that real
they're funny
high pitched
together.
laugh. Yeah, it was pretty funny.
CNN, I think, was
What
in
you
Austin.
should do on New Year's Eve.
I think that's where Darius Rucker.
Oh,
That's right. Darius Rucker was
nice.
Bringing us into the new year.
Booty.
I would
The
rather
Dolphins
have
make me
Darius Rucker
cry.
reading me and then Cardi B talking about her butt.
I would too. But I would like to at least be acknowledged. What's up with the Eastern Time Zone elitists? Just
Yeah, it's true.
skipping over Central
Every other
Time Zone.
time
New
zone
Year.
is irrelevant.
Well, that's because the only place that exists is the East Coast.
Yeah.
Stupid.
Yep.
Well, that used to be one of the charming parts of when
The world?
when Conan O'Brien was on after
Yeah, they would do
Leno.
other
He would
time
always
zones.
take great pride in doing the
Yes.
Central Time Zone countdown.
Yes,
So
we're people
Yes.
too.
maybe the question is, maybe the thing is like, we need a Times Square of the Central Time Zone.
Yeah.
Where would that be located? Omaha?
Power and light.
The Woodman Tower, Josh?
Nope.
How come nobody ever goes to Chicago? You never see any of these
That's
shows
true.
like have somebody in Chicago.
Well,
Yeah,
let me
that's
ask
true.
you
The
this:
third
Gary.
largest
Chicago
city in
would be
America.
the biggest Central
Where
Time
would
Zone
you
city.
go in Chicago?
Would you
The Bean.
want to hang out in downtown Chicago at midnight?
Go to the Bean.
Are you talking about the temperature or the violence?
Yes.
That's what most people are scared of, Josh. Now here's what you
Yes.
do: you propel the bean into the air, and then you drop it.
Drop the bean
At midnight.
Oh.
You drop the bean.
You're on to
Do
something.
you
there.
have a fear of going to Chicago and getting shot?
Yeah,
I don't.
that's good, Josh.
But if I had to sell a mass audience on it, many of them would come back and say, "No, thank you, sir."
that's just Chicagoans anyway.
I love Chicago.
I love Chicago.
I love
Chicago's
Chicago.
good. Chicago gets too much crap from people.
I mean,
agree.
they've had some issues. But
Yeah.
I mean,
You know, I mean, it's no Sharknado getting attacked by biker gangs in LA. Did you guys seen the video?
Ian Ziering.
Ian Ziering got attacked by a bike gang.
He took on 3 or 4 guys.
Yeah,
pretty well.
He looks like he's in good shape now.
Yeah.
We were talking. He looks younger now than he did in 90210.
Who?
Ian Ziering.
Ian Ziering.
Yes, he was on a television show from the 90s called
Beverly Hills
90210. Starred in the
When you see him, you'll go,
franchise.
"Oh yeah."
I don't think you will.
He was Steve.
But-
What's his last name? Steve.
No,
what?
you don't recognize him.
Never seen that guy in my life.
There's no way he knows who Ian Ziering is.
Okay, but when
He
it
looks like a
brings it
normal
up,
guy.
does it show his?
Did he get attacked by a shark?
No.
Well,
No, he used
series
to be
of
in
movies.
yeah, in a
Sharknado,
series of movies. But he got attacked by a biker gang. So I think it was staged.
Oh,
It's an interesting theory.
get his name back in the cycle, sort of.
Ian Ziering.
It didn't
biker
seem like
fight.
there was a sense of urgency from authorities after he came forward.
Let's look
Okay.
into it.
So, and also there was what TMZ cameras were around.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
It's just a guy's video. It's just a guy's phone.
Because
It
they're
looks
typically following Ian Ziering around. Is there going to be a reboot of 90210 and Steve Sanders?
He
We already did reboot 90210.
Oh, that's right.
he
Yeah,
probably
canceled.
should have had his butt kicked even more by
Well,
these guys.
What did he do? What?
Remember we said you could hire.
Well, he started. So
paparazzi?
he got
Did
out. He
do
threw
that?
some punches.
You could hire a biker gang to beat you up.
And you beat them up.
So
then
he
to-
runs across. What are they on Sunset Boulevard?
It looks like it.
Yeah.
There's palm trees.
And like he throws a couple of punches. All I can think of is out of that coffee shop that's behind him is going to come Jack Reacher, and all hell's going to break loose.
I just want to, if you
just
haven't
cleans the whole street up.
if you haven't seen the video and are hearing Gary say biker gang, you're probably picturing one
Yeah,
thing.
it's
not.
Yeah, it's not Hell's
It's
Angels.
not Hell's Angels. Yeah.
It's
It's
the
a bunch of dirt bike kids.
yes who don't know how to fight.
It's not Altamont.
What did Ian do? It didn't seem like he was causing any problem.
I don't know.
Resisted.
Now it has happened
I
in
don't
the
know.
past, but usually not to celebrities. So he was saying that he was targeted.
Mhm.
I don't know that he'd be the celebrity I would target.
Right.
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
be able to pick him out.
I
of the
don't know
crowd.
how many people.
Those people were
know
younger
him.
than Connor
Yes.
in the video, and Connor doesn't know who this guy is.
I don't know how many
Yeah,
people.
there's no way
knew
they know.
Steve Sanders.
Did the bull question? Did the biker gang know who Ian Ziering was?
Did he just have that face? He just had a face. They're like, this guy.
Maybe he was chirping.
I don't like this guy.
I don't know.
What celebrity would you like to attack?
Great
Ooh.
question.
Shia LaBeouf.
Aaron Rodgers.
He's climbing up that list. I'd like to punch that guy.
Yeah,
in the
Aaron
face.
Rodgers. Aaron. I mean, for
He
more
was
than just obvious
joking,
reasons.
guys.
Was he?
When you give me that look, it's a joke.
That's you can't go saying stuff like that. He's gonna get sued.
Especially on ESPN,
Yeah.
where they may have to say something to McAfee.
There's going to be, as you say, some speaks.
Yeah, because on Bob Iger's network, you can't go after somebody else who's on his network.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
That seems to be, maybe a little bit.
It didn't seem like a joke. These two famously have a beef. I mean,
Yes, they do.
They're not friendly with one another. Jimmy Kimmel and Aaron Rodgers.
But like, what is if I asked you right now, what is Aaron Rodgers known for?
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say, well, Super Bowl champion, MVP, multiple
Yeah,
MVP.
no, he's the anti-vax guy.
That lone ring.
He's a guy who should have won more. Yeah. That lone ring. Should have
He's
won more.
got a spot on ESPN every Tuesday to talk about conspiracies.
Yeah.
Well, he's got time.
He does have.
He was in his wine cellar yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there'll probably have to be a retraction. But is everybody excited to see that list? I heard Bill Clinton might be on it.
Yeah. That's gonna be quite the list.
But so like New York media does, they have made a connection between what is it? Epstein's former chef who opened a restaurant with Kimmel, and this guy was arrested at Kimmel's house for making a bomb threat.
Oh my God.
Oh.
Is that why Aaron Rodgers brought him up?
Must have been.
I thought we've been talking about who's going to be on the list for like a year now. What's going
and
on?
now it's supposed to come out in the next
Is the
couple
list
weeks.
coming out?
I've been here for 3 years, and that list was talked about at my former place of employment.
Right. So,
Quite extensively.
well, I imagine it was, Josh. Yes, that makes sense.
In a similar manner of, just say someone's name. If they're on it, great. If not, oh well.
So will that be a big deal? Like, will people get like excited? I mean,
Bill Clinton's name has been mentioned.
Yeah, so like who do you, so are you asking like who do you hope is on the Epstein list?
I mean, I wouldn't want to be on the Epstein list.
Right. Is there anybody you'd like to see canceled? That you
Josh
hope
has
is
some
on the
enemies.
Epstein list?
Josh has some enemies that he's interested.
JJ Watt's probably too young.
Hey, you know what? Speaking of JJ Watt, I think your opinion would change on him if you watched him on McAfee. Recorded.
Oh, he wears those shirts of movies that I understand.
That's true. He does.
He has like a personality.
You guys have that in common. The movie buffs.
Oh, he's wearing a Callahan Auto Parts shirt.
Yeah.
So cool.
Have you ever seen how cool
Makes
he
him
is?
more likable, doesn't it? And he knows that. He's so fake.
The list.
Yes.
Will it be breaking news?
Obviously, we've been waiting for
The
it.
networks chime in and they're like, "This is who is on the list."
Depending on who the names are, yeah.
Lamestream media won't cover that.
But McAfee will.
I wonder if there will be any sports stars on there.
That's a good question.
Yeah, there will be.
JJ Watt's too young. That was funny.
Will it be like an older, like sports star? Like I'm starting to think of like high rollers, like a Jordan.
Oh God! All right, we can't actually do this. Yeah, we can,
Who's on the
we
list?
can't actually do this.
Who is on the list? Oh boy!
But just think of the memes that would pop up if.
And I took that personally.
I was on that list.
Hey guys, Brian says, "How do we not have New Orleans as the Central Time Zone representative city?
It used to be.
It was.
warm.
They used to
Party
be a
time.
lot.
Yep, they had a. In fact, not that
What
long
happened?
ago, they had a.
Well, I
Ever
think-
since they showed the boob on ESPN.
So
It goes
Don
away?
Lemon used to be like in New Orleans, and then Don Lemon got canceled.
Oh
or
no,
fired.
he got canceled.
Yeah, that's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
he
was.
lives. He lives out near where you were this summer.
Oh, out in the Panhandle.
Yes.
Also, famously in the Central Time Zone.
Yes.
Make
it is.
Destin, Florida, the Central Time Zone
Oh, there
representative.
you go.
Oh no, I was saying he's
Everybody be in
out
bed by 10 though.
by the Hamptons.
Oh, the Hamptons.
Yeah, you're bougie.
Oh yeah, I
place
was
you
in
went to
both
visit.
those places.
That
Yeah,
makes more
Destin,
sense.
Florida is not bougie.
There's some place. There's
Destin,
some nice,
Destin, Florida is shirtless shorts, sandals.
There's some nice areas in there though. But yeah,
There's a couple.
I was out. I took a drive out through the Hamptons too. Thank you for remembering that. I didn't see Don though.
Or Matt Lauer.
Nope. Billy Joel didn't see any of them.
Yeah, he's on the
Oh, I
list.
didn't see any of the canceled people.
Matt Lauer on the list.
Got it. I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Can we
been
get-
canceled for years.
Is there odds? Can we find some odds? Can we get some
Oh.
action on who
That-
might be on
there's
the list?
definitely odds. There's definitely odds.
Can we see if FanDuel get in on this?
See, I really hadn't even thought about this until Aaron Rodgers and Jimmy Kimmel yesterday. I'm like, okay, now I wonder who else is on
Yeah.
there. I wonder, could it be like some obscure person that we all know?
Who among us would not look at the names?
Oh, yeah.
You never know. You just might know one.
And then we'll be scorned because why would you guys look at the list?
Oh, I'm gonna look at the list.
Because our whole life is made up of lists and brackets. If you put a list or a bracket in front of a guy, they're going to look at
Yeah,
it.
we get list season early. All right.
That's what our bracket should be in March on our website, 1620thezone.com.
Oh, gee. Who's on the list?
Which host or producer is more likely to show up on the Epstein list?
Oh my god.
Always looking for organic content to go viral. Would that not go viral? In more ways than one?
It'll go viral, that's for sure.
Oh man.
This is no fun. The only people that are are having fun with this are talking about all the political people that are going to be on the list. Give me like funny names that could end up on the list.
Carrot Top.
Like there you
now
go.
that's not out like the realm of possibility.
Yeah,
he seems like a guy that would
I can
possibly.
see that.
Allegedly.
I can see that, yeah.
not on a list.
I don't think he is. It's just a funny name.
Yeah, Carrot Top.
Exactly.
Dane Cook.
It's just funny.
Oh, that.
All right, let me change things here.
That's good, Gary. Please do that.
So at the end of our show, I was talking to Brandon Vogel. So yesterday was the 40th anniversary of the Orange Bowl.
Which one?
The most heartbreaking Orange Bowl.
Oh.
So there's a bunch of what ifs. So I posed the question, what if Nebraska completed the 2-point conversion and left 48 seconds on the clock and Jeff Davis kicks like a 50-yard field goal at the horn to give Miami the victory, how would you feel? Because I would like to do this. I think we should do this summer. We should rewatch that game and then have a Big Red overreaction.
Oh, I love that. No, I love that. Because people were doing that during COVID.
Yes, but of all the roller coaster emotion games that we've all had to put up with, that would be the one that. Too bad we didn't have those kind of shows back in the night,
absolutely.
January 2nd, 1984, because that show would have been absolutely crazy. Of the people that were sad, the people that were crying, the people that were angry, the people who were like, T.O. is the greatest representative ever in the state of Nebraska.
No, but that's 40 years later. We talk about how great it was that he went for 2. In the moment, was that the reaction?
I said the first hour would be anger, and then people would be like, you know what, man, I respect him. He went for 2.
Oh, people are still mad at Dan Campbell.
We comparing Dan Campbell and Tom Osborne.
I'm just saying,
It just happened.
he just went for 2.
So I did the what if, and so Tom responds. He goes, we don't have to imagine what would have happened in 83 if we would have scored and then Miami came down and win in the last minute. 11 years later, the 94 Orange Bowl with Florida State.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, we should definitely do it like an overreaction for some old games for sure. Because in a lot of cases, and people my age, I'd be watching a lot of these in full for the first time. And I've never sat down and watched the entire 84 Orange Bowl before.
So I answered, I think the way it played out is still more heartbreaking or it's more divisive because he did go for 2. So you have the section that thinks go for the tie.
You're talking about in the moment.
Yeah, the moment.
Yeah, in the moment for sure. Right now, I mean, it's like, you're the best person ever.
If it happens the way that Gary just played out, I still think the way it actually did play out is more excruciating because at least your coach did go for it. They executed it. That's awesome. Maybe it's not as divisive. I guess I would say it's not as divisive. So I maybe it is more painful then because you did do everything right. And yet Miami had one last gasp.
Mason Daniel says it absolutely had the majority of support of the fans and national media in the moment. It propelled T.O. from respected coach to beloved icon. I can't speak to that. I just would assume that there was a lot more conversation than that. I mean, is that what has happened to Dan Campbell this week? Just once again, not the same situation, but has Dan Campbell gone from like, oh, he's a pretty good coach to like, hell yeah, I respect the balls on that guy for going for 2 and then going for 2.
I think that game, the whole discussion is about an official.
But I think he already kind of has that.
But did you gain
reputation.
respect for Dan Campbell? I didn't. Kick the damn extra point. You're back at the 7-yard line.
That's what he's been doing since he's been the head coach of the Lions.
I know, but like you get penalized, you're going backwards. Kick the extra point.
Yeah, they already won the division. They're good. Fine.
I think there would have been a
the
discussion.
other part of the discussion of that Orange Bowl 40 years ago is, fortunately for T.O., he had the run in the 90s. But if he doesn't win a national title, does he keep coaching until he gets one?
I would think he would have certainly coached longer.
Because you would be 13 years from that moment to win a national championship.
Yep.
You didn't get it. That would be like the number one thing on your resume.
Yeah, I would think that would have kept him around.
I mean, look at this.
He would have waited to win a national championship.
Top 5 things that Tom Osborne is known for: 3 national titles, that game, and
nice catch, Matt.
Holding public office.
Really?
I don't know. I'm just throwing out
It would have
ideas.
been a weird discussion about his legacy if he had never added a national, gotten just one.
That's true.
If he just has one, that took care of, for some, 84.
Yeah, absolutely. So many
But he
people,
added a couple of more.
So many people have won one.
But if he didn't win any,
he would have stayed around.
then they would have won in 99 because that was a really good football team.
Yeah, but I don't know.
They could have gone out.
But it's so hard to think about that because there's no scenario in which they don't win at least one national championship in the mid-90s. Right? They were the best team for 4 years straight.
I mean, thankfully, that game in Florida, the Florida State game, was an igniter for the next year.
Right.
But at the moment, you thought, is this happening again?
Right.
Well, yeah, because
Tom
I
Seiler
think when that
kicking the ball out of bounds.
happened, everybody thought this is just Nebraska and Tom Osborne jinxed. They're not going to win the big one.
Yeah, it's hard for me to know.
I mean, because I remember
because
I was in high school and that happened. And that was the feeling: is Nebraska cannot win the last one.
Have you heard stories of people? And again, we all got blessed with 3 in the 90s. Have you heard stories of people that watched that game and their reaction?
Which one?
Of the 84 game?
The 84 game?
Yeah, I do know one of my friends' fathers who also, I think I mentioned this, he also jumped on the field and ran on the field once at Memorial Stadium. I believe he broke his TV. That really did happen.
I remember somebody in Lincoln when I first moved to go to school, because I remember the game, but I was not a Nebraska, follower back then. They said some schools in Lincoln closed. They didn't open up because you were going back to school the next day and they didn't have school. Or it was a Sunday or a Monday or whatever.
Wow.
But school got delayed by a day.
Were they concerned about violence?
People were just depressed.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
School closed. Depression.
You're just talking about your Malaise. Holy hell.
Yeah.
There it is.
Remember those days when a one loss by your favorite team just destroyed you? Next couple of days?
What would happen now?
Is Bama, did they go to school on Tuesday?
Okay, hold on here.
No.
So what do you mean? What would happen
like
now to
kids,
have a
kids.
loss?
Oh.
But with the current state of there's been a lot of losses?
Yeah, Nebraska makes it all the way back to the national championship and loses it overtime, like Alabama did. What happens at school the next day?
Did
I'm not
Georgia,
talking about at the University of Nebraska. I'm talking about OPS and LPS.
Did Georgia elementary schools shut down that next day when they lost in overtime on the Tua throw?
I don't know. I think you usually close the schools when you win, right?
For a party.
Yeah, but that loss was so depressing.
We don't have
That's
don't
crazy.
have a good enough sense though, of what it would. This is what I'm missing as a fan for not really being present during the 90s. As long as I've known Nebraska football, it's obviously been a really galvanizing thing for the state, but I haven't seen the entire state on the same page really ever. I've never really, except for I guess when it comes to Nebraska volleyball, but that happens on a smaller scale, right? I haven't seen quote unquote the town painted red, in I don't know, since 01 probably.
So you're talking about Malaise. The first one I can remember was the Arizona State game. I remember what that Sunday was like in Lincoln.
Yeah, that'd be bad.
And then the next couple of days in school,
tough day for
at Nebraska.
Frost.
No, I mean, nobody talked to each other. It was super quiet. It was depressing. It was whoa.
I do remember a time where losses used to be very serious business. It used to really affect things. Now it doesn't anymore.
Well, you're numb to them.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There was a time in this line of work we do when they would lose. That Monday, there was an extra adrenaline because people were losing their minds because it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Now it's oh God, this again. I mean, really, it is.
So that's Matt Rule's.
Even when they win now, it's the same crap because they've had a big win. And
well, yeah, and that's the other thing. When they win, it's yeah,
cool. They beat Purdue.
Who they beat?
Sorry.
Or yeah, but we still got it so and so. And
I respect to Purdue.
All right, so it's on Matt Rule.
Yeah, what a big game, damn it.
That's his whole goal this year. Hey, our message is we're going to change how people respect. We want to respect the end.
Yep.
This year we want people to be depressed if we lose.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yes,
it's a good statement.
We're a loss just it guts.
So the translation is okay. Yeah, win the games that you're supposed to win. Can you win one that you're not supposed to win?
Mm-hmm.
Can Nebraska why is it that absurd to think Nebraska could beat USC?
So that's a good question. When will be the first game on the ledger that applies?
Ohio State. That's the 8th game, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would be one.
Not Colorado.
No, they're supposed to win that game.
Yeah,
right.
I don't. That wouldn't have the magnitude of Ohio State.
No, that wouldn't feel like you're getting over the hump.
I think that wouldn't even feel like 2016 Oregon.
You would not say we're back after beating Colorado.
It would be
in week 2.
It would be a significant win for them, but I don't know if it would be wow, they really beat somebody that they weren't supposed to beat.
I'm with you. Somebody you're not supposed to beat on the road.
That would qualify October 26th in Columbus, Ohio.
Interesting.
Will Ryan Day still be the head coach?
No, that's the other question.
951-1620.
Will Howard will be their quarterback.
Yeah.
Will Will Howard be more popular than Ryan Day?
Will Howard will suck. That's what will happen. I'm not a fan.
I know you're not.
I'm not a fan.
Guy.
Will Howard will go there and have a really miserable time.
I don't know, miserable. I don't think he's a title-winning quarterback.
No. He's fine. He's
But
like McCord.
I think they'll be better with a true running quarterback.
Well,
they've had in the
okay,
past.
that's different. That's different. Then you're going back to JT Barrett, and those teams weren't as good as the Stroud and like the Fields teams. I mean, those teams could do it all.
Yeah, but Fields could run too. And
That's what I'm saying.
But those teams
Fields
also had
could pass.
Those teams
Okay.
also had great offensive lines, which they do not have.
Right.
Which has been an issue for Ohio State. They got a great defensive line. They don't have they haven't have a typical Ohio State offensive line in a while.
Yeah, I wonder if Ohio State. Yeah, I mean, what they had done over the last several years is pretty unsustainable. So you go back to the running quarterback and you try and just win games that way. That's not a perennial national championship type of team, by the way. That's more like an 11-win. Let's win the conference and let's get into the playoff and let's see what happens. That's different. Nebraska could beat that team. Nebraska could beat that
You ready
team.
to put it on the prediction board?
No.
Okay. I just wanted to double check.
Nebraska beating who? Ohio State, UCLA, USC, Wisconsin, or Iowa next year? Or 2 or 3?
Probably gonna need 2 along the way.
All right.
And 1 at the end of the year would be
Iowa.
Iowa will. They're not going to win 10 games, but Iowa will be a much better football team than they were this past year.
Why do you say that?
They will have a competent quarterback.
because their offense can't be
Their
worse.
offense will look different.
Quarterback. Well, their offense won't look different, but they will have a competent
I think their
quarterback.
offense will look a little bit different.
I
mean, it can't look any worse.
Yeah, that's the bottom.
Well,
But
I mean,
their
they'll
de-
have a competent quarterback.
Their defense will be really good. I mean, they could return 10 of 11 starters.
Like they'll have a good quarterback, which
An
will make their
average
offense
Iowa
better.
offense, what that could have been for this team. So even if they can get to average next year as an offense,
I don't. No,
that is such a low bar.
Average-
You would say out loud that if we can just get back to average.
Yeah, they're not going to be average. They're going to be bad on offense. It's okay. Like they're still going to win 10 games, but they're not going to be good on offense. They're going to be average on offense. They're going to suck on offense, and they're going to have their quarterback do enough. Like that was the whole difference this year. Their quarterback couldn't do enough because he was really bad.
Yeah.
Their quarterback will be able to do enough
Yes.
next year.
Do you
Their
have
offense
their,
won't be that much
Do you
better.
have their schedule up?
I do
Can you pull
not.
up
I
Iowa's
could.
schedule real quick.
Sure.
Other than the huge that they play, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa State. What's the rest of their schedule look like?
Let's take a peek.
do they get UNI,
Illinois State, Iowa State,
Troy?
They open up conference play on the road in Minneapolis. Then they go to Columbus after a bye week. Washington at home, defending national champion Washington. At Michigan State, Northwestern, Wisconsin, UCLA, Maryland, and Nebraska.
Okay, so the back part is manageable.
So
they're going to have to be good right away.
So the West teams, they get UCLA and Washington. Their West Coast trip is to UCLA. How about that? Iowa in the Rose Bowl.
Yep, that'd be great.
Yeah, you know what? When the sun goes down after that 1:30 kickoff, it's special.
It
It is
is.
so special.
It really is.
You actually stick around in the stadium and you wait for the sun to go down, and the game's been over for 3 hours.
I would. Like that one guy that you love on TikTok, G-Fed.
Hey, G-Fed.
Guy steps foot in every stadium.
So G-Fed was at the Rose Bowl.
G-Fed was at the Rose Bowl.
He was nowhere near Connor Stallions.
Yeah,
but he was at the Rose Bowl, and then like the next day he was at Ole Miss.
What does he do? How does he get to these
But he
places?
got on the field at Ole Miss. Did you guys see this TikTok when he was in Lincoln?
I did not know. I'm not on TikTok.
I don't think so.
It's Nebraska's tough to get into.
Well, yeah, it is.
And he tried to walk through like the academic center.
It's hey, we're not. This is not Illinois and Purdue. This is a cathedral.
So a sign of a
college
big time
football.
football program is if some random TikTok guy can't get on your field.
Yeah,
That's actually pretty good. Yeah.
good bar. If it's tough access, you're something.
I want him to come here and he does now the thing of how long I can last in the stadium before I get kicked out. 2 places. I want him to go to Baxter Arena and I want him to go to the Chuck at the College World Series to see how long he can stay in the stands.
I mean, he could stay
Because
in there
Baxter
for
Arena,
days.
20 minutes on the clock, boom, you're gone. They clear out the place.
Yeah.
Like at TD Ameritrade, Remember, like the parents that used to stick around and they run them out?
Well, that's like College World Series time.
Yes.
During like what about
Like
for
a
a Creighton
Creighton
game? He could hide
Creighton
somewhere.
game, he could live in the stadium and
Yeah.
no one would find him.
Yeah.
But the College World Series, they run you out of there pretty quick.
Yeah, they'll get you out of there. They'll get you out of
So I want him to come here and try that challenge.
there. Okay. We'll get him in for the CWS next summer. Sounds fun. Sounds like a good bit.
It's just around the corner.
And see if
We'll take a break from page 58 of Phil Steele's College Football Bible, and we'll talk to G-Fed, the guy from TikTok.
We'll see how, and he can go to our different stadiums and see how easy it is to get on the stadium.
Yep.
Good idea.
Not super easy to get on the Chuck.
Not like it used to be.
Well, people used to run on there like crazy.
Well, yeah, but I'm talking like when it's empty. The place is pretty secure.
Oh yeah,
you can't go
Pretty
like back through the back gate and
that's
walk through center field.
See, that's what I was thinking is the back gate area where you come over by the bullpens in the center
I
field.
mean, they closed that up
Yeah.
for several months a year. Nobody's in there. You know,
I mean, it's a concert venue, so they shut it down when the last concert is done.
put the padlock on. See you in March.
They redone that field yet?
Yeah, I think they're still in the process.
Okay.
They haven't resodded?
Yeah,
Or are they just bringing the sod back?
Well, remember, because the whole deal was after the Pink concert.
yeah, it was bad.
And they just left it there.
There was a square.
They just left it.
There was
yeah.
a square of like dead grass where the stage was.
Because they were redoing it. And I guess they're still redoing it.
I'm sure they'll be fine.
I guess it's January, so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The
They've got
grass will be
time.
nice and brown in March when Creighton opens up.
Yep.
Same thing in Lincoln.
It's kind of a greenish brown. That's when you get really excited.
get out the spray
Start seeing
paint.
Some hints of green. You're like, oh,
Here it
we're
comes.
getting there.
Is that last weekend in March? It's like, oh, we got some rain last night. I wonder
Yep.
if the grass will
I
green up.
know. He starts. Oh, it's amazing.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Very exciting.
Can we just take it one day at a time?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
It's January 3rd.
Longer days
Nebraska,
ahead.
Indiana basketball tonight.
Longer days ahead now.
Yeah. Yeah. We got basketball all over the place tonight.
Danny Nee against Bobby Knight.
You going to the PBA tonight?
I have to work tonight.
It's got a call game,
Oh,
day.
the Mavs. Sorry.
The Jacks and the Mavs.
I apologize.
Lumberjacks.
Respect to the Mavs. Were you are you at somewhere interesting this weekend?
Idaho Falls, Idaho.
Hell yes. Let's go. Ever been?
No, I've been to Moscow. I've always wanted to go to Boise. Well, I went to Moscow. Yeah, we played in the Kibbe Dome.
That's cool.
And then a year later came back and played at Washington State, which is 7 miles from the Kibbe Dome.
Perfect.
I've never been to Idaho Falls. Somebody told me the other day that it is like a really nice area.
Where do you fly into?
I don't know. I thought
an airport.
I thought like someone
Don't feel like they do.
the original discussion was like, okay, fly into Salt Lake City, and then I think it's a 2-hour drive from
Yeah.
there.
That's not bad.
I think we're flying right into Idaho
Oh,
Falls.
nice.
Idaho Falls does have an airport. It looks like a dentist's waiting room.
So it's a regional.
When you're in the Summit League, you go into a lot of those airports. Let me show you the airport in Bozeman.
Oh, nice. Big sky.
The one nice thing is you fly in and it is a gorgeous mountain range right next to the runway.
Oh, nice.
Jack's on a 2-game skid.
Make that
How
3.
many people live in Idaho Falls?
Good question. I could get that for
50,000.
66.
Okay.
66, 898.
All right. So a little bit larger than Vermilion.
Jacks are 483rd in the country in rebounds.
There's some
400?
Use that.
That's what it says.
Use that in the broadcast tonight.
That one's free, Gary. 374th in scoring.
And then some jabroni on the TV network will be like, well, there's only 351 teams that play Division I basketball. Josh?
I'm just reading ESPN.
I look at all the Kempom pages and I just see all the red. I love it. It's like, wow. These are the Lumberjacks, the 280th adjusted efficiency offense in the country.
Oh.
They allow 76.5 points a game, so
hopefully we'll score a lot tonight.
Frankie should get his.
Let's go. Let's go,
Can
Mavs.
choose.
Let's go, Mavs.
Pack the
Will
Baxter.
you be at PBA?
No, I think I'll be couching it tonight. Too much going on. We got basketball everywhere. So I want to watch them on TV.
That's not true, Connor. It's just
We got basketball in Lincoln. We got basketball at Baxter. We got basketball at
downtown.
DJ Sokol Arena.
Gino
That's true.
Auriemma. Josh is in town.
Yeah.
It is, yeah. Morning, Gino.
I got to couch it, Josh. I can't pick one over the other.
Of all the coaches that come
It's true.
in and out of here that play Creighton, him and Patino will be the two most recognizable.
And the douchiest.
What, Gino?
Well, I kind of
Not you,
ruined
Finn?
the chance of you guys getting him on at 12:30 today, but that's okay.
I'm sure he does a lot of interviews on the road.
Gino's listening, Josh.
Yep.
Gino's listening, as he does.
Like,
I
wow.
know, if he's listening, then he'll be in the lobby in 5 minutes
Yeah.
wanting to fight me.
It's like, wow, this guy called me a douche.
One of those things. You know, like he just goes to all the towns in the Big East and he just listens to sports talk radio.
You don't think that you would be like, man, there's Gino.
No, I would not.
Like, I will say this.
I
No.
would.
I can't wait
I
for
would.
St. John's to play here. I thought it was cool when Mullen and Ewing were in the
Yes,
league.
I thought that was cool.
Because the first time I saw Chris Mullen up close, and he's aged a little bit,
Yeah.
and he was wearing loafers with no socks, and I'm like, come on.
The Patrick Ewing thing went away very quickly for me.
But the first time you see Patrick Ewing, and he's so large,
Oh,
you're like,
yeah.
wow.
You're like, why is he calling so many timeouts?
I'm excited to see Patino in person.
Yeah, I am.
It's going to be a no from me, dog.
What's wrong, Josh?
What's wrong with Rick Pitino? Is
No,
that your
no,
question?
no.
Is that your
No, as
question?
far as
we
just
just-
like
like his presence.
Just overall
Be
presence.
like the same thing if you saw. No, just if you saw a guy,
Yeah, I
if
know
you saw a
you're-
famous guy.
Every superhero needs a supervillain, I guess. And Rick Pitino can be Creighton's supervillain.
You wouldn't be awestruck if you saw.
So Gino, no on Gino, huh?
No.
Okay.
You wouldn't even be a little awestruck if you saw J.J. Watt. What would you do if you saw J.J. Watt?
I would probably go, wow, that's a large individual. I should probably stop talking trash about him on the radio.
you want to shake his hand? Would you shake his hand?
Would you give him Nux?
I'd shake his hand.
Okay.
Would you shake Gino's hand?
If he came into the room, yeah. If he
Yeah,
came on,
he's offering a handshake.
Yeah.
sure.
What about Patino?
No, thank you.
Just like, I got a cold.
Not a fan of those hands.
Yeah, sorry, I got a cold.
I don't know where those hands have been, sir.
I'd shake his hand.
Who's your secretary these days?
This has the makings of a developing poll question.
Would you shake? This is like we were doing earlier with the list. It's like, just would you shake this person's hand?
2 M's and Oriema.
All right.
Have fun, boys.
Gino, come on down.
All right.
That's Crossover, powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlevelconcrete.com. It's Wednesday, I think. We'll start things off next.
Karl Malone's on that list.
That's the crossover. The Connor Happer Show is next on 1620 The Zone. Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
Have dynamic divisions. You can literally do that by saying, all right, well, we're going to match up the teams that we have scheduled against each other, and they're in one division, and the other group is in the other side. Hell, you could change them every year if you wanted to, but at least you have structure of this team's going to have the best record on this side, and your tiebreakers are going to work.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Watch out for patchy dense fog during the morning drive Wednesday. Any fog should lift by the late morning. Partly sunny skies in the afternoon, though staying chilly with highs in the low to mid-30s. I'm meteorologist Sean Everson from KETV News Watch 7.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Kugler Vision. It is a new year and you deserve a new view. Do not wait any longer. Kugler Vision took great care of me at the start of 2018. They will take great care of you as well in 2024. Visit the website kuglervision.com.
Hey there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Outdoor Nebraska update. It's hunting time in the Husker State. For a safe season, remember to be totally certain of your target and your background before you fire that shot. In a moment, ask yourself, is the bullet flight path clear? Is that a legitimate target? And what am I going to hit if I miss my shot? Please be careful out there. If you'd like more information on hunting safety, go to outdoornebraska.gov. That's outdoornebraska.gov. From wildfowl to owls. Great time of year to step outside and watch wildlife. Many animals are still active, plus the leaves have mostly fallen, vegetation is set back, and we'll have some warmer weather. Maybe you'll hike a state park trail or head to a public reservoir to do that. Oh, and don't forget your camera. Oh, it's on your phone. That's right. I'm Greg Wagner.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe. It is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay.
Smart.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
It's the Connor Happer Show. Are we sure we want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. It's the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer and Josh Odson with you. Today is Wednesday. It's the second day of the rest of our lives. Josh, come on. Here we go. Good starts. Good starts.
We're starting fast. We're starting good.
Yeah, fast and good. That's what we're doing in 2024. Robin Washut will join Talk Husker Hoops as they play Indiana tonight in about 15 minutes. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic makes his return as well at 11:30. He had a good catch-up with Nick Henrich, the now retired Nick Henrich.
Oh, okay.
That was interesting. And then, of course, whatever else Nebraska is doing right now, bringing in some... we haven't talked, and I don't know that we will much today outside of our conversations with Robin and Mitch, basketball and football-wise. I don't know if we'll talk much Nebraska football until something kind of happens. They're bringing in wide receivers. Excuse me. They're gonna bring in a wide receiver and maybe a guy on the defensive line. And, kind of just here and there, cleaning up some things, supplementing through the portal. Nebraska's attempting to do, but
supplementing. Interesting.
That's right, Josh. Not much else going on with Nebraska football right now until we start getting the videos of winter workouts. That's coming.
Weight room videos.
Yeah, we're probably 3-4 weeks away from that.
Clanging and banging.
Yep,
it's coming.
Just wait till the military people come in and make them start swimming in pools and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's coming. We're not that far away. As we continue down our college football calendar, there are certain checkpoints we have to hit. That will inevitably be one of them. Also, the tweet bag is coming up at noon today. The tweet bag returns in just about an hour. Get your questions in at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. You can email them, Connor at 1620thezone.com, on the Equitable Bank inbox, Also, Josh O at 1620thezone.com there as well. Hell, you can even comment them in on the YouTube stream.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Do it. Or you can watch along with us at 1620thezone.com as well. And give us a call, of course, on the 42 Degrees Source hotline, 402-951-1620. You can also text that number when you get your questions in for the tweet bag, which is coming up in an hour. That's the lineup powered by the Rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard. We had some sports last night. I stayed up and I watched Mountain West basketball.
Whoa.
Yeah. Creighton got done, and I was like, you know what? Let's go watch this Colorado State. Nick Baugh was there.
Let's keep it going.
I was listening. Everybody loves Nick Baugh.
True.
I love Nick Baugh. He was calling Colorado State basketball, playing New Mexico. Richard Pitino was there. Colorado State looks really good. Colorado State might be a wagon. Folks.
Beat Creighton.
They did beat Creighton. And as we know, Creighton really, really good.
Tournament team.
Okay. All right. We'll talk about the Jays. And their win. There we go. Thank you, Nick. And their win over Georgetown last night, which they played quite well in the second half. The Creighton women tonight hosts UConn, the traveling road show of the UConn Huskies. Nebraska, big home game with Indiana. The Mavs as well. We got basketball all over the board tonight. We got Darren Rovell telling you that people should get fined based on their net worth. Love that. Great idea, Darren. Awesome. Caitlin Clark last night. I have one complaint about whenever Caitlin Clark comes up, I always have one complaint about Caitlin Clark. I like watching Caitlin Clark playing basketball. She does not offend me when she's not playing Nebraska. She offends me when she's playing Nebraska.
Okay.
Because, she enjoys playing at Nebraska. This is a well-documented thing.
So you're rooting for the conference. Got it.
No, I like rooting for Caitlin Clark because she's good at basketball.
Okay.
But and by the way, we could play it here. It's on the sheet if you want to play it, Josh. She had a buzzer beater last night.
A buzzer beater.
Some people just became aware of this morning, but yeah, she dropped 40. She had a buzzer beater last night to beat Michigan State, and she pulled off some of her amazing antics again. She did get the shot off, by the way.
Okay.
The Peacock had their basketball debut, Big Ten basketball debut last night, and the Peacock clock, like on the screen, was on the score graphic, was just a score bug, was just a little behind real life. So it was very close. She did get the shot off though. Here's Caitlin Clark knocking down a 35-footer at the horn.
Anticipation here.
What?
Davis, time.
Wait a minute.
Is that the replay? Is it fast forwarded?
No. What's going on here, you animals? Okay. Let's try this.
Okay.
Anticipation here.
Nope, that's okay. What is this? What?
Just playing the video you sent me.
Okay, great. Perfect. My apologies on that one. She made a buzzer beater. And here's my one complaint about Caitlin Clark. She, when she makes the shot, she just kind of walks over to the other side and just holds her arms out, and she's not really celebrating at all. It's just a small complaint. Just be happy. Like, why can't we celebrate normally anymore? Just jump around and hug your teammates or whatever. She's got to run all the way to the other side of the court and just stand there and kind of stare at people. Who are you staring at?
She's a stone cold killer. She doesn't have time for joy.
Why not? I don't want to take the joy I don't want to lose the joy in basketball, Josh. Basketball is fun.
Oh, it's serious business for her.
Caitlin Clark is an extremely fun player. She has fun when she plays basketball. We've seen this as a trend in sports now. People make game-winning shots and they do awesome things and they just stand there and stare at people. What's the deal with that?
Just to recap, Connor Happer asking a woman to smile.
Sure. Be happier. Be happier. That's all. Not everything. Like when we stand there and we just celebrate by staring at people, like, I don't know. Why are we trying to make everybody's...
That's how Kobe did it.
I know. Exactly the point. Why did Kobe do it that way?
That dude was just wired different.
But like that's what we always say about Kobe. Right? But it makes me think that all these parties are just perpetually aggrieved by something. Like, why? Who are they mad at? Who are they mad at? Who could Caitlin Clark be mad at when she makes the shot to win the game?
LSU
last night. Who's Kobe mad at?
His teammates.
Just be happy. Yeah, Kobe was definitely mad at his teammates. That's all. Just a small little thing. Text from the 402. Happer, aka Old Man, yelling at Cloud. Yeah.
A little bit here, a little bit.
I know.
But yeah, as long as you know it, that's fine.
You do not agree with me? You want to see people just stare off into the like it takes away from the actual like joy of the moment for fans as well. She's just standing there awkwardly.
Would you say she's just a big ball of charisma in general?
I guess not.
Yeah.
So what your argument is? It's just her.
That seems to be on par with how she acts. Remember when she did give you something and oh my gosh, we freaked out when she did the John Cena thing. Oh my gosh, why not just make a shot and get back on defense?
What John Cena thing?
The You Can't See Me.
Oh yeah.
That originates from the WWE wrestler turned actor John Cena.
Thank you. Charles writes in, he says,
Hi, Charles.
Happer is a score a touchdown and hand the ball to the ref guy. No, I'm saying the exact opposite. What do we not understand about this? I'm saying that be happy, jump around and
choreograph a dance.
Sure.
Do some Fortnite stuff.
I guess but like emote, you know? I want to see some emotion. That's all.
And I'm saying she's never shown me any emotion except that one time, and we chastised
you
her
guys.
for it.
You guys are trying to paint me out to be the guy who like hates bat flips. Like flip those bats, man. Flip them. That's fine. Do whatever you got to do. Like be happy that you did something good for yourself. Don't be like, the world hates me and this is me proving everybody wrong at all. But like we go way too far with that. It's just like every time there's a team that's mildly competitive in some area of sport, they're like, yeah, nobody believed in us. Like, who cares? Have fun, play sports. It's such an annoying storyline of sports. Georgia wins the national championship. Well, nobody believes in us. Well, was it fun winning all the games, or was it just like you trying to prove everybody wrong? What do you think about that? I'd like to say something to all my haters. Who cares about haters? Stupid. That's all.
Now, you had the same take about someone else yesterday, and I forget who. Oh, you thanked Jimmy Johnson for thanking the haters.
Jimmy Johnson was thanking the haters.
We didn't get to that on air yesterday.
No, I guess we didn't.
It was on the list. I was like, okay, I know I've heard this take from him this week.
Yeah, it was yesterday. Two for two in 2024.
He's consistent, and he doesn't care, man or woman.
That's me. That's exactly right. Jake writes in on Twitter. Happer is now mad at people for not being happy enough. You can't make this stuff up. Yeah. I just think we have a disposition as a society where all of our sports, all of our best sports athletes are like constantly telling the public how many haters they have. Does that make you cool? I don't know. I like Caitlin Clark.
I read books about how hitmen become hitmen and they slow their heart rate down. That's what I do each and every day out on the court.
It's sports.
Why are we doing that?
It's sports. It's not war. We're not fighting in a war. It's sports. Have fun. When the music's on in the arena, sing the song. It's okay. You know?
Unless it's Sweet Caroline. Don't sing that.
Yeah, don't do that.
That's trash.
Although I did see the clip pop up the other day of the New Year's Eve game, their first Creighton Big East game in the against Marquette.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody sang Sweet Caroline like after they turned. That was pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
I'm a sucker for crowds singing in unison together.
Happer softening his stance.
Not on Sweet Caroline, but that was cool. That was cool. That's it. I start the show with one complaint about Caitlin Clark. This is a weird celebrator. And it's not, actually, you know what? I'll amend it and say that it's less about Caitlin Clark and more just about society as a whole.
Okay.
My complaint is about society.
It's a societal take.
It's a societal take.
Caitlin Clark is your on-ramp for.
Thank you. Yes,
okay.
That's what I'm trying to do.
That makes it feel a lot less like you're picking on a woman.
I'm not picking. No, I like Caitlin Clark. I'm not picking on Caitlin Clark. In this case, I am, I guess. Yes. She is an example of this. But like you said, Josh, I'm very consistent. I don't like this all of the time.
Yes.
I'm just going to stand there and stare. What do you think of me now? We all already loved you. You're filled. It's 15,000 Iowa Hawkeye fans who are just standing there. They already love you. They're all wearing your jerseys. It's the same thing with Kobe Bryant. I'm going to make a game winner. I'm just going to go stand there and look and stare off into space. It's like everybody already loves you.
Both look great in yellow.
Yeah, these people do not hate you. They're fans of you. Enjoy them. Celebrate with them.
You're the reason Nebraska volleyball is successful.
Great moment. Nice. Don't trigger people on Twitter about that one. All right. There you go. We'll talk about Kraton from last night. Nobody liked my joke last night.
Oh, you had a funny?
I thought that I had a good joke. I can understand why people didn't like my joke. But I thought I had a good joke.
What the hell did I do last night?
You weren't paying attention. You weren't respecting Ed Cooley?
I was not respecting Ed Cooley.
Why not?
Hard for me to get up for a Creighton Georgetown game.
Well, it's hard for Georgetown fans to get up for a Creighton Georgetown game. Here's what I said on Twitter last night. Creighton went Harburg mode last night. That means they turned it over 100 times and still won. Now, you could understand why nobody liked that tweet.
Yeah.
But I thought it was funny. So I'm going to repeat it on the
arrogance
air.
of a J-sker making fun of Nebraska football.
Look, man, if you can't make fun of your own team, I don't know what to tell you. We're going to take this stuff way too seriously. Once again, it's sports. From the YouTube, Dave writes in, how many times can Connor say, I like Caitlin Clark? Yeah, I'm just going to keep repeating it. I don't know. You know, sometimes points don't get across as clearly as you'd like them to get across. And just want to make sure I'm very clear that I do like Caitlin Clark, except when she's playing Nebraska. That she triggers me greatly. Because everything, you know, it goes back to the conversation about her being like perpetually aggrieved by stuff. It always seems personal. You know, it always seems she takes stuff really personal. It's like she's dropping 40 in Pinnacle Bank Arena and she's doing it like while staring at you the whole time. And it's not just me. It's just everybody inside Pinnacle Bank Arena. It's all of them. Anyway, we'll talk about is this about Kraton, Josh?
It is. Kraton, more about Ed Cooley than Kraton.
All right, let's. Do you think Damian will hang on through the break with us?
I think he will.
Okay. Let's take a quick time out. We'll talk about the Jays. We got Robin coming up next. No, we can't do that. Let's take a quick call. We got Damian on the 42 Degrees Source hotline. Hey, Damian, sorry about that. What's up?
Thanks for squeezing me in.
Yeah, we got you.
I was wondering what's up with the Ed Cooley being over there at Georgetown. How did I didn't know he was there, and then I was hearing that there was all kind of controversy or something about it. So that he ended up talking to Mac about it. I know they're good friends and all, but he had to talk to Mac about deciding whether he should come there or not, or whether he should just leave Providence at all. And was he wanted out of Providence? What happened?
No, so first of all, thanks for the call, Damian. Him and Mac, Ed Cooley and Mac are really good friends. That's why we respect Ed Cooley.
He respects him.
That's why we respect Ed Cooley. And so the Georgetown thing comes up last year when Patrick Ewing rightfully gets fired. And, he's at Providence. It's in the conference, but they're offering him a lot of money and it's better resource. Like, it's a better job, right? It's just objectively, Georgetown is a better job than Providence.
If you get it going there, you're
right.
You're a made man.
And so Providence people hate him now.
Sure.
Right. Because you left to a school in conference for a job that I'm sure they perceive as being a worse job.
Yeah. Because
of their lack of success in recent years. And Cooley had it going at Providence and they were winning. But yeah, I mean, did he make the right choice? I don't know. They might get it going there. They might get it going there. It might be a little bit more difficult than he thought, probably.
Bigger build than you would think, right?
They got to do a lot. It's my theory is this year they're working on defense. Next year they're working on offense. And then the year after that, they might be able to get people to go to their game. It's a basketball. It's a big basketball rebuild because he's a good coach. They might be able to get it going, but when you watch their games, and this has been all throughout the Ewing area before that too, Creighton's in the Big East, you watch them and you're like, nobody's there. Nobody cares about Georgetown basketball. It's like a blue blood college basketball program.
This is why the Big East is the Big East.
So, I mean, credit Georgetown, like they went out and they got the big hire. Right. But I think it seems like the fans might still be waiting. If you look at Georgetown's KenPom page right now, they have one more win left on the schedule. It's Saturday against DePaul.
DePaul?
Yep.
They'll get more than one.
Okay. Interesting. Put it on the board for Josh. First prediction of 2024. Georgetown wins at least 2 more basketball games this year. Is that what you're saying?
Big swing by me, having not watched Georgetown this year, but yes.
Okay. Put Josh in for it. Thanks for the call, Damien. We'll come back with Robin. We'll talk some Husker Hoops as they host Indiana tonight at Pinnacle Bank Arena on 1620 The Zone.
Omaha's most listened to all sports radio station. Again and again and again. 1620 The Zone.
Coffee comes from a plant. Tea comes from a leaf. Kraton comes from a leaf. Kraton may seem new, but it is an all-natural product that has helped people for centuries alleviate discomfort, anxiety, and so much more. At 42 Degrees, we carry the largest selection, highest quality Kraton, so that you can receive all the benefits of Kraton. At 42 Degrees, we care about your health, so ask for our Kraton at any of our multiple locations. For hours and locations, go to 42degrees.com. Buy your mom's house.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's cold outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink Nebraska brewed beer, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag #OneBeerFriday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click nebraska.beer to learn more.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Over the past few years, the COVID-19 pandemic has affected how we live our daily lives. Today, we also face a mental health pandemic that threatens our well-being as we attempt to rebuild our social networks and communities.
The pandemic has reminded us to value family, community, and our human connections. However, it has also left many of us feeling more isolated, confused, and alone, struggling to find meaning amid loss and uncertainty.
Today, 1 in 5 Americans experience emotional and mental health challenges, but many of us do not understand what we are facing or know how to ask for help.
At the American Psychiatric Association Foundation, we understand what you are going through, and we are here to help. Our vision is to build a mentally healthy nation for all. We work every day to eliminate stigma, combat mental illness and substance use disorders, and advance mental health. If you or someone you love needs help, you are not alone. Please visit mentallyhealthynation.org to learn more.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long. Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
Uh-oh. Josh couldn't find the Robin Washut open.
It's such a good open, too. My apologies.
Something horrible has happened over the new year. We'll look into that. Maybe it was the same ghosts that got into Robin's phone that one day as he joins us now on the 42 Degrees.
The biggest basketball coaching convention of...
There we go.
Are you looking?
What?
You don't want to embarrass? Right now, I'm talking.
What is going on? Robin, are you okay?
Robin Washut.
Are your kids near you, or what just happened?
Husker Online.
I took a lot of preparation to make this thing a flawless interview, and clearly I still can't avoid it.
Robin Washut, Husker Online.
Maybe it was aliens. Maybe it was a phenomenon that we can't explain.
The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
There we go. Joined now on the 42 Degrees Source Hotline by Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com, the On3 network. Hi, Robin.
I'm glad that you prevented 2024 from just getting off to an awful start.
I know.
Saved the day there, so thank you for keeping the year alive.
Well, you're welcome, and Josh is welcome as well. I'm just a huge believer in good starts, and that feels really important to me. If we botch the first open, then it's just bad vibes the whole year.
Yeah, tone setter.
Tone setter. Nebraska's got a tone setter tonight.
Yes, they do. Nice transition there.
Thank you. Thank you.
They got a big one.
What's before we get into it, what is I know Fred went through a couple of the injury update pieces yesterday, Rink Mast, and even Blaze Keita, there was a mention of him yesterday, who I think a lot of people had just forgotten about. What's that situation look like right now?
So with Rink, he's going to be a game time decision, and really kind of a coin flip at this point, and it's all going to depend on how he feels after the shoot around today, and as they get closer to pregame warmups, if he's ready to go, they're not going to rush him back. Although getting him back would be pretty significant in a game like this. But they realize they got more than just one. They got 18 more Big Ten games to worry about, so they want to make sure that he's fully back to 100%. But given his recovery thus far, so he had a surgery on December 18th. And he's progressed really well. Did some full contact work yesterday, and he was still kind of on a bit of a workload count. They do that catapult system where they monitor workload, effort, exertion, that sort of thing. So they're still kind of capping him. So he's not like completely off the leash yet, but he's quickly progressing, just as the way Nebraska would hope. So he's got a chance tonight. Again, it's just going to depend on how he feels, and if he feels really good, I think they're going to they'll play him. Maybe he's going to be on a minute count, but just having him out there in any capacity would be big. And if he doesn't play tonight, I would say that really makes it a safe bet that he'll probably return this weekend on Saturday at Wisconsin. So good news that as it stands right now, it seems like he might only miss, maybe one game where, there was a thought that he might miss as many as the first three Big Ten games in January. And then with Blaze, I think he's still got some work to do, but they're going to try. They've tried this before, where they start ramping up his activity and just increase his workload a little bit to see how that ankle is going to respond. And I think they've just kind of accepted the fact that he's going to be sore. He's going to have to play through pain, just because he had the surgery in the spring, and he's still not 100%. But I think that he's to the point now where it's healed enough that he can try to play through it, and then give himself the off season to try to get back to 100. But I think that if they can get him, even if it's minimal, 8 to 10 minutes off the bench, that too would be a huge boost, just with his defensive rim presence, his defensive rebounding. He showed what he could do in that regard in his limited opportunities last year. And just having another body in the post and Big Ten plays is so critical. So some positive development there. Again, we'll know more on rink here in a few hours. But with Blaze, I think that there's seems to be a much better chance than originally thought that he could be a factor this year.
What is the I guess what does tonight's game sort of represent for you? I sort of think about it as a game where obviously Indiana comes in with sort of, it's a name brand program. It's Indiana. But Nebraska's kind of right in the mix with them and several other teams in the Big Ten for jockeying position in the middle to, top end of the middle of the Big Ten Conference. I guess I feel like the game's at home and it's a game where Nebraska's favored. They should be kind of expected to win tonight and take care of business, and maybe disappointed if they don't. I guess, how do you look at it tonight?
Yeah, I look at it the same way. If Nebraska is the team it thinks it is and wants to be, these are the games you have to win. Where you got kind of a reeling Indiana team that is going through their own injury situations. Xavier Johnson, their starting point guard, has missed the last 7 games with a foot injury. Sounds like there's a chance he'll be available and probably will play tonight, but he's missed a lot of time, and you just got to wonder what the rust factor is with him. And then their stud center Khalil Ware, he's missed Friday's game because he had COVID, and so where is he? I think he's expected to play, but again, you just don't know. So Nebraska's got their rink mass situation, but Indiana's got some pretty big names that have some question marks too, and so Nebraska's I think they opened at a 5.5 point favorite, and that's for a reason. I think this is a game they should win. Ken Pom has it around like a 70% chance of victory tonight. You're favored, by 5.5 points. You're at home. You had a productive off season where you had a couple low points with Creighton, Minnesota, but otherwise it was a lot of positive vibes, and you got some momentum going. And I think this is an opportunity for them to make. Get off to a statement win to open 2024, especially considering what lies ahead. Winning at Wisconsin looks a whole lot tougher than it did maybe going into the year. And then Purdue comes to town on the 9th. So to be able to get at least one of these next 3 would be absolutely critical, just to kind of keep your head right above water, going into the beginning of this 18-game Big Ten grind.
You mentioned Ken Pom. So they currently project Nebraska at 20-11 and 10-10 in the league. Now, depending on where the wins come, where the losses come, that's pretty much a borderline NCAA tournament team, right?
I would think so, especially if Michigan State continues to do what they're doing, and Kansas State can figure it out. Those could be 2 signature wins. And if you get a couple more, you find a way to steal some on the road. The road wins are going to be the big one. It's not just how many games you win, it's who you beat and where you beat them. Yep. And so, the road wins are gold. So a game like tonight,
home losses are the opposite of gold, whatever that is. Poop, I guess.
Exactly. Especially in a situation like this where you're expected to win. So, so this is one of those where Nebraska can't afford to lose it, but there's probably bigger opportunities that could be much more in the category of signature resume type wins here on the schedule. So that's kind of the other part to it is, like you said, it's not just where those 20 wins, getting 20 wins, it's where they come from and who they're against. But, I think they're in a great spot right now. And if they do finish 500 in the league and get 20 wins and get some some resume type quad one level wins, they're going to be firmly in that bubble discussion, and could very well be an at-large bid.
What's the highest you could sell Nebraska as far as their positioning in the Big Ten at the moment? Like if you power rank the teams, could you make a case for them to be like the fourth best team right now?
Not right now. I think they still got more to prove. But I think that they're capable of being there. The thing is, they haven't had their complete roster for very many extended stretches, so they got to find a way to get full strength first and foremost to have a legit chance at being in that conversation. But I think they're close. I'd probably put them at maybe sixth, maybe fifth on a. You could probably talk me into that, but the Big Ten is so wide open right now.
Yeah.
We have Purdue and Illinois, and then after that, who's next? Ohio State,
probably Wisconsin.
Wisconsin. So those are probably your four, and then after that, I think Nebraska is very much in that territory. So again, that's a good spot to be in. It's a down, quote unquote, down year for the Big Ten, but if you're in that top half of the league, you're going to have a very good chance at getting a tournament bid, regardless of the perception of the league.
How did they get Tominaga going tonight? Is that a key that you're sort of thinking about as they head into the new year here?
It certainly changes really everything they do offensively when he's going. But again, I think that they have the luxury of they don't need to force it the way they did last year, where he needed volume shots, where I think they're kind of getting back to a point where they'll give him some shots early, and if they go in, then they ride it. But if he's, starts 1 for 5 or, 1 for 6 or something like that, then they can go other directions with it. You can let Bryce Williams get some more shots. You can feed it inside to Gary and, win healthy rink mass. And so that's the difference between last year and K-Say's role compared to this year, where he can certainly take over a game and be that kind of game-changing player, but he doesn't have to be for Nebraska to be successful. So, like I said, if he's hot, Nebraska can probably play with anyone. But it's not a situation where he has to get going for Nebraska to win. It's kind of one of those, it's more of a luxury than it is a necessity.
Yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good way to look at it. Are you excited for an 8:07 tip-off tonight?
No, and I'm also not looking forward to next week where it's an 8:30 tip at Iowa.
Oh.
On Friday night. Yeah, they moved it back a half hour because of like a wrestling duel or something going on there. So such is life in Big Ten play, where the 8 o'clock tips ruin everybody's week.
I guess it's an East, and maybe next year it changes when you have the West Coast, and maybe there'll be some 5 o'clock tips next year or something like that.
Yeah, I know that doesn't help very many people either, but for me, I would welcome that with open arms.
Same. Thanks, Robin.
Yep, talk to you later.
Robin Washut of HuskerOnline.com. 8:07 tonight. What's up with that Iowa? 8:30 tip. They had a 9 o'clock tip against Creighton.
Jeez. The late night.
So these stupid conferences, Fox and the Big Ten and the Big East, all saying, yeah, let's just cater everything to the Western time zone, even though every team is in the Eastern time zone, basically, in our conference.
Well, you're opening up new television markets. You got to.
Yes, let's put Nebraska and Indiana at 9 o'clock Eastern and open that market. So Indiana's
West Coast markets. Hey, these are your brethren now.
I think Bloomington's in the East, right? Bloomington's in the Eastern time zone.
Probably.
I'm pretty sure it's right on that line. Like Indianapolis is in the East, and so I assume Bloomington is
Eastern time zone.
Eastern time zone, Bloomington. So they're starting at 9:07 tonight. Have fun.
I don't hear anybody complaining about 1:15 on Saturday.
No, there's no complaints whatsoever. We never complain. We certainly never complain about basketball tip-off times around here. It'd be like Creighton last night. Start at 6. Creighton women tonight. Start at 6.
It's
beautiful.
Is 8? Do people think 8 o'clock is late?
8 o'clock is late. Yes,
it's over by 10.
Yeah, but then it's 10.
Okay.
Is 9 o'clock late, Josh?
No.
But you operate in a different time frame than everybody else. You're on Josh time.
I do.
9 o'clock is an objectively late game.
That would be late to start a game.
Yes. 8 o'clock is also an objectively late start.
It's later.
So basically, I'm operating off of generic start of sporting event is 7 o'clock. Anything later than 7 o'clock is bad. Anything earlier than 7 o'clock is good. If we're talking about weeknight basketball games.
You all sound so washed.
I am washed. I'm not afraid to admit it.
Okay.
I'm absolutely washed.
Okay.
But wouldn't you rather watch it at 6 than watch it at 8?
No.
Really?
My punk ass kid's awake at 6 o'clock. I can dial in and laser focus.
I mean, like if you could start all of the Big Ten and Big East basketball games at 6 somehow, and just they all start at 6. So we knew that Creighton was playing at 6 every night, except for the weekend. Sign me up.
What time do you eat dinner?
Sign me up. Oh, I eat dinner at like 4.
Okay.
Depending on when my wife gets home, like sometimes she's working from home, sometimes she's not. So like 5 is probably the latest. Dinner's ready when she gets home.
Dinner's ready when she gets home.
Yeah, I'm cooking.
Look at you.
Yeah, I'm
love
cooking.
that.
I'm cooking. I'm Chef Happer in the kitchen cooking up with the crock pot.
Getting that meat slicer.
Stirring it up. Yeah, I'm doing the whole thing. Latest I eat dinner is 5:15, Josh. I don't know about you.
It's incredible.
What time do you eat dinner?
5:30 on a good night. 6 o'clock.
I'll tell.
Most
Okay.
nights.
So the one problem I had with the 6 o'clock tip last night for Creighton was that it preempted Jeopardy. For me, I just wanted to watch Jeopardy at 6. Maybe Jeopardy should start at 5:30. If Jeopardy started at 5:30 and then the Creighton game or the Nebraska game started at 6, I'd be in heaven.
There's a programming lead in there for NBC here locally. Just hey.
Yeah. I mean,
get these two on back to back. Do what you have to do.
Oh, and then so like Tuesday, Wednesday nights are beautiful. Put all the basketball you want on those nights because the football game takes up such a gigantic chunk of time.
Mm-hmm.
If you start Monday Night Football at 5:30 or 6 o'clock, now we're cooking.
Whoa.
Finish off that game at 8 and just be done and out of there. That'd be awesome. Then you could go into Josh time and be a free man. You can watch whatever you want. You can watch replays of whatever crap sporting event you want to watch.
Love being a free man.
It's true. All right. We'll come back with Mitch Sherman of The Athletic next on 1620 The Zone.
The Connor Happer Show. Follow us on Twitter @Happer Show for all the latest news and views. We may even say something interesting once in a while.
Unlikely.
Really, guys? Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Put your coffee department in good hands with Host Coffee Service, providing direct delivery and loaned coffee equipment with service programs. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees. The Source. By your mom's house.
The Zone Inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. Email me, Connor Happer, with the Connor Happer Show at Connor, CONNOR, at 1620thezone.com. Send me your love, your hate, and maybe a few hot takes. The Zone Inbox, presented by Equitable Bank.
What is dedication?
My daughter started making necklaces. She makes what we call affirmation fashion. I tell her every day that your black is beautiful. Your black is beautiful. And if there's anything better than being beautiful, it's being smart. If there's anything better than being smart, it's being kind. And reaffirming that every day is our method of making sure her chin never drops. My dad wasn't around. And I remember riding a bike and falling off and cutting myself, and me never just wanting to get back on it. People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike, and you didn't. I didn't teach them. I just created an environment where they taught themselves, and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
Roofing, siding, and gutters. Make the right call with the rooferees at John Higgins Weather Guard.
Who do you want to talk about first?
Mitch Sherman, The Athletic.
You can play. And we need people that can play.
And we'll never be royals. Let me live that fantasy.
You got obviously you're super involved in the Gretna community, but you got to take in one of the more amazing sporting events that moments that we've seen around here in a long time. That's Gretna winning on the buzzer beater on the same day that they lost their head coach and Brad Feakin. You were there. Tell us about that experience and sort of the community of Gretna and what they've been feeling over the last week or so here.
Yeah, it was a real emotional night, emotional day. I mean, from the morning and waking up and hearing the news about Coach Feakin, and everybody knew that he had been sick, but there was, I think, some hope, a lot of hope in the community through December that he would be able to extend things and maybe have surgery, and then things were kind of quiet with the family as they got to enjoy Christmas, which is a silver lining in this, but it ended way too soon. And I think a lot of people, myself and my whole family included, just felt a need to go to prep on Saturday night. I hadn't been to a holiday tournament game this year, or in a couple of years. And, we were busy and had family and friends in town, like I think a lot of people do. And, we just carved out that time and everybody went. First, in fact, I think it's the first time in years that all four of us have gone together to a basketball game, a high school basketball game. And, I saw a lot of that when we walked into the gym toward the end of the Central Millard North game. Just, people didn't really even know what to say. It was just a lot of hugs and sad looks. And it was a little bit, I think people were unsure, how the players were gonna, well, I mean, you knew how they felt, but it was people were unsure, if they were ready if they could even play in the game. But they played really well in the first half, and the second half was a slog. And my hope, and I think everybody in that gym was that they, would find a way to finish and not lose that, and make that day, allow that day to be remembered for something, that transcends basketball. And I was sitting next to another dad in the community, who's involved in youth sports and played college sports at a high level. And he said to me in the third quarter, when Gretna was up maybe half a dozen, but was struggling, this thing's going to come down to, final possession with the ball in Landon Pekorski's hands. And that's exactly what happened. And, he made the shot and they celebrated. And, it was a different kind of celebration. Normally I think that kind of a celebration where you move on to the semifinals of a tournament it's going to be real jubilant in the stands and people jumping up and down and high-fiving each other. And it wasn't really like that. I think it was just relief and happiness for those kids and those coaches and everybody on that bench that they got to, have a little bit of joy that day.
Yeah, I saw the different, it was great because it was covered by a lot of our local media. And I saw the video, all the angles, including yours. And the one thing that I zoned in on is soon, you watch it the first time, you're like, wow, I mean, what a scene. And then all the other times I saw the video come across my timeline on Saturday, I guess it would have been, I was watching the bench. I was watching Gretna's coaching staff and seeing what their reactions were. And basically every time it was just, they kind of just crumbled. You don't know what the right reaction is in that situation.
Yeah, everybody just kind of filed out of there. I mean, people had smiles on their faces, but, there wasn't like this great buzz or, a ton of talk as people left this gym and the school to go back to their cars and head out into the night. It was just more quiet. And, I think, like I said, some satisfaction mainly that those players got to experience that. I don't know that I've seen a moment like that in sports anywhere, pro, college, high school, certainly not in person, ever to have all of those things come together and that game finish the way that it did.
Yeah. Awesome stuff. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic is with us. Hey, so your most recent thing out today, maybe yesterday, your conversation with Nick Henrich and him, what, the sort of things that led him to kind of hanging it up and where I always feel like Nick was a really good, because of his maturity and, how many things he's been through at Nebraska. He's a really good guy to talk to as far as like the overview part of it is concerned. And now he's, kind of on the outside looking in. What did you get from that conversation from Nick and sort of where he feels like things are at right now?
Yeah. He's a real thoughtful guy and always has been. And I've known him since he was in high school and he won that state championship. He had Chris Hickman as his running mate, and they had Xavier Watts on that team, who was a year younger. So, that was before Paul Lamanji went to Westside and built the dynasty that he's got now. So he's had an interesting career, all the way back into early in his high school days, and has been fun to follow. And his growth and his maturity through that time has been interesting to watch too. And then to come to Nebraska and go through so much in Lincoln, not just with the coaching change. And, there was a lot of excitement when he got there because he was part of the beginning of the Frost era. And when Nick and Chris committed to Nebraska and signed with Nebraska, that was when Frost and his staff were doing great in state. And then, as the years went on, they started to struggle in the state of Nebraska to keep the best talent at home. And then, Rule has rekindled that and I think created even more of an emphasis on collecting the best talent in the state and looking deeper at guys like Jalen Lloyd, who didn't have an offer before, day one when Matt Rule took over last November. So it's interesting to get his perspective on that, but also everything that he went through with injuries. I mean, the knee injuries started for Nick when he was in high school, when he suffered a torn PCL and then had another PCL injury in the COVID year. And then not both ACLs, but twice in his right knee. And without the PCL contributed to that because it's just not as stable. They had to put a cadaver ligament into his knee this second time. With the repair of his ACL, and the doctors told him, that's not conducive to you continuing to play football. I mean, he didn't really have a choice. It was. I think some people, myself included, maybe were caught off guard that he wasn't going to give this rehab another go, but his knees are not in position at all to go and try to play football again. Whether it was to run it back for a sixth year at Nebraska, or try to go to the NFL, he would have failed the physicals, with the NFL and everything they look at in these guys' histories, not having PCLs in both knees and then, an ACL in the condition that it is after two surgeries. So,
Yeah, he's just an interesting figure in Nebraska history because of all of that. He's the only one who was a captain in 2022 in the last year with Frost and then Mickey Joseph, and then got that single digit jersey in the first year of Rule. So he'll always have that distinction within that coaching transition of being the only guy who had those two honors, and him being a local kid and again with all the injuries, it really makes him an interesting person to hear from.
Mitch, it's been a couple weeks since we've talked. How have you felt about Nebraska's, and obviously there's a lot that goes into this, including a numbers crunch that Nebraska is dealing with a bit right now, but how have you felt about their urgency or lack of urgency as far as the transfer portal is concerned at the moment?
Well, you see that they have some guys coming in this weekend, and they seem to be prioritizing wide receiver and running back. Multiple players at wide receiver that they're looking at, and then the Oregon transfer, who that they're going to get a visit from or are certainly interested in at the running back spot. So those are the two positions. I think you saw them make an offer to a defensive lineman, although it's probably more NIL equivalency related. I don't know that for certain. And that's the thing, is we really won't know a lot of these things for certain. The days of knowing, who the 85 on scholarship are pretty much over. I think at least in this this current setup that we have with NIL. That could change in a few years if it all goes in-house and, there are more rules that come into play. But the way it is right now, maybe this is like the in-between of, the old strict system and whatever, comes a few years down the road. But I think like the model needs to be changed as far as the way we in the media look at the 85 and in stressing and in getting fans stressed out about how Nebraska can get to that number. That's not really the number that needs to be considered. It's like 85 plus whatever you can afford with NIL, and not everybody can go on NIL scholarships. I mean, or equivalency, whatever you want to call it. It's like a scholarship. But there are a good number of players on the roster who can, if they're graduates or they transferred in or they were former walk-ons. So you can find ways to make it work. And, I'm kind of back in the mode right now where, I don't think it's a big deal. They'll find a way to make it work. I mean, they're going to get to 85 and they're not going to have to, they're not going to send guys packing who are, in position to start. So, they'll make it work.
You may not be hard tied to 85, Mitch, but like you still have to manage whatever it is. Like, obviously, whatever you have in terms of NIL, is how far you can kind of go over, but you still have to be really picky and careful at this stage for Nebraska about who you're bringing in, considering what you already have.
Yeah. And you see that, and they've only taken one transfer at this point. There'll be more, and I think the spring will bring, well, of course it will. We'll bring another round, and we'll see what they do at quarterback. That seems to be the big question. I'm answering mailbag questions today, and it'll come out Friday, and there's a number of them in there about what Nebraska is going to do at quarterback and if they'll go in the portal. And I don't know. I looking at it, I would think they will want to. I don't, and some of that, this is a question for Matt Rule the next time I talk to him or we get to hear from him, is do the walk-on quarterbacks that they have in the program. It's Luke Longball, who came from Iowa Western, but he redshirted there, didn't play in junior college. He's a Sioux City kid. Jack Wosh is a guy from IMG Academy who was at Ole Miss, and he's from Austin, Texas. And they got the Blair quarterback to come in as a true freshman, but I don't believe he's a mid-year kid, so he's pretty much out of the mix as far as even providing depth. He's a scout team guy next year, Brady Sukup, or Bodie Sukup, but sorry there for the
we got a lot of listeners in Blair
name mix up. But no, I don't want to be disrespecting an Omaha Metro kid. So, are those other two? Or do they see them as real options to provide depth? I mean, can you have that guy as an emergency QB? And Longball went on some trips this year. Where's he going to be at? Where's Wosh going to be at? Are these guys that you could, in a pinch, put into a game if you need to? And that'll play into the equation of what they'll do in the spring and looking in the portal for somebody else to provide depth at quarterback. I lean toward
thinking that they're going to have to do it. They're going to have to try to go find the right player because otherwise you're going into the season with Heinrich Harburg and a pair of true freshmen.
Yeah. It's a tough sell though, like you're coming.
It's not for everybody.
Right. It's definitely not for everybody. They have to read the sign when they come into the state. Like, there's almost, you're not going to be the starter. You're coming in for depth. It would be a really unique situation to have an older guy join the roster at this point. But I don't, maybe there's guys out there who would sign up for that.
I think there's guys out there. I think there's probably a guy or two like that every year in every cycle, and there probably are this year too. And it's just a matter of making a match.
Yeah. Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. Mitch, good to talk again. Happy New Year to you as well, and we'll talk to you soon.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Mitch Sherman of The Athletic. I wonder, obviously the Casey Thompson thing, I think came and went at this point. We're over that, right? It's been 2 weeks.
I think so.
Okay, good. And I think that was kind of shut down. Okay, all right. Here's one, Josh. Jeff Sims.
What about him?
Jeff Sims for depth, 2024.
I don't think Jeff Sims wants that.
You don't think Jeff Sims wants to be a depth guy next year
No,
anywhere?
I
You think Jeff Sims wants to start and play?
I think he wants to play football.
Maybe his priorities have changed after the disastrous 2023.
I mean, it's going to be at, and forgive me for using them as an inferior football program because they're not, but like it's an incarnate word type school for Jeff Sims.
Maybe. I mean, he could go that route. I mean, either way,
Memphis.
Either way, you look and say, all right, in 2 years, am I in the NFL? If things go really, really well, like I end up at Incarnate Word, I'm talking about Sims. If you end up at Incarnate Word and like you'd have to win, you'd have to win the championship, right? You'd have to be really good and have really good stats and show people that you don't turn the football over. That's like almost outside of the best case scenario, I think, for him. Probably outside of the best case scenario for him. So
dream
is you think in like a year or two, like, am I in the NFL? I don't know. We look at this from that perspective. They don't, right? Because they want the best for themselves. But I'm just trying to think of a potential person that would be out there who would sign up for that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Older guy, you could put him in and you could feel okay about that. Maybe Jeff Sims wouldn't even qualify for that.
Oh, belated happy birthday to Jeff Sims.
Oh,
1/1 is his birthday.
Oh, a New Year's baby.
Mm-hmm.
So he okay, 1/1 what? Do we know how
02.
1102. 22 years old, Jeff Sims. Amazing Daniel writes in.
Hi, amazing.
He says, we're over the Casey Thompson thing unless it comes up again. LOL.
Here's a.
I mean, that would be a great situation, right?
Yeah.
If they got Casey Thompson to be there, even if he's injured, if he's not even ready to fall, if he's their safety net backup quarterback, that's like, sign me up.
Hey, you're a veteran. Just be in the room just to talk these guys off the ledge,
right? Because like now the situation has changed. The situation is obviously Dylon is the starter, right? So whoever comes in now at this point is just providing depth.
I'm sorry for not knowing the answer to this. Did Miami ever get their quarterback?
Well, I mean, they missed out on Cam. What they're going to miss out on Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Sounds like he's going to go to the draft.
Jeff Sims' dream was always to play at Miami.
Was it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they lost Van Dyke. I don't know what they're doing at quarterback. Maybe they keep a guy that they had from last year.
Not to make this a conversation about Jeff Sims, but I just got a little hyper focused on him once we brought him up.
You're still in love with the Facebook rumor of Jeff Sims to Miami?
Oh yeah.
Facebook loved that for 48 hours.
They need a guy.
Like, you hear about this guy? Jeff Sims is going to Miami.
They need a guy.
Good luck with that, you know. But I don't know. Maybe there is some options out there for Nebraska. For the record, I am fine without the safety net backup quarterback. obviously it's preferred, but I could completely understand how and why Nebraska wouldn't be able to acquire that insurance at this point. It makes sense to me. You've kind of made your bed with the 5-star.
Absolutely.
Right. And that's okay. That's a good bed.
In an ideal world, you would have a Joe Flacco type in the room, just a super old guy.
Yeah, go sign Joe Flacco.
Hey, I've seen it all. Kid, listen to me.
Yeah, been around for a couple of years. Is Tristan Gebbia have another year of eligibility? Can we bring him back?
Why not?
Poor guy didn't even get to play in that game against Missouri. We were one helmet falling off away, I think. All right, we'll come back. Josh, we'll bring you the odd news when we return on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Previously on The Crossover.
I want to hear the thank you at the end of it, too.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. When you order a Big Mac at McDonald's.
No, thank you.
Thank you, caller Connor.
Good job, Connor.
No, thank you.
Maybe it was Connor Stallion.
No, it could have been.
Mornings with Sharp and Hanley. The Connor Happer Show. Unsportsmanlike conduct. 6A to 6P. 1620. The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy and seasonally chilly here for your Wednesday afternoon, with the high today in Omaha of 34, north winds staying light between 5 to 10 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies overnight and cold, a low of 21 with winds remaining light out of the north. Decent viewing conditions for a meteor shower here overnight, peaking tomorrow morning pre-dawn. Staying mostly cloudy Thursday, seasonally cool with the high tomorrow in Omaha of 35. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
The Connor Happer Show returns in minutes on 1620 The Zone.
Hey there, Greg Wagner joining you from the Nebraska Game and Parks Commission. Time now for another Outdoor Nebraska update. It's hunting time in the Husker State. For a safe season, remember to be totally certain of your target and your background before you fire that shot. In a moment, ask yourself, is the bullet flight path clear? Is that a legitimate target? And what am I going to hit if I miss my shot? Please be careful out there. If you'd like more information on hunting safety, go to outdoornebraska.gov. That's outdoornebraska.gov. From wildfowl to owls. Great time of year to step outside and watch wildlife. Many animals are still active, plus the leaves have mostly fallen, vegetation is set back, and we'll have some warmer weather. Maybe you'll hike a state park trail or head to a public reservoir to do that. Oh, and don't forget your camera. Oh, it's on your phone. That's right. I'm Greg Wagner.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
A couple things here. First, breaking news in the NFL. The Chiefs, the Kansas City Chiefs, are locked into the 3 seed for the first round of the playoffs. They will be sitting everybody this week. Patrick Mahomes included.
Oh, wow.
He will not play in their regular season finale against the Chargers. Blaine Gabbert versus Easton Stick.
Just like
will
we
be the
all
quarterback
envisioned.
matchup for the Chiefs and the Chargers in Week 18, which I believe John Bishop is starting the petition of trying to get that game off of local television. I don't know.
Off.
I don't know where.
Yeah, he wants the Bears, Packers.
He wants a game with playoff implications.
Sure. Yeah, I guess now I certainly can't fault him because even if the Chiefs didn't have anything to play for, it's still fun to watch them play. Or
Yeah,
I guess
and-
it was when they had an offense.
Well, no, it's still fun to watch them play because they're kind of a dumpster fire right now. But
Yeah.
if they don't have Mahomes, it doesn't even count. They're just expected to be a dumpster fire. So there's that. Also, we have lights in here now. So if Josh looks like somewhat of an angel sent from heaven on the YouTube stream, that's not your eyes. That's real life.
You know, the new boss came in and he said, "Hey, why is it so dark in here all the time?"
Yeah.
And
he's got a point.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I didn't
Also,
think-
why are the ceiling tiles all off the ceiling?
Yeah. I
Take off your white hat.
Fixing the light created a lot of problems. Is that better?
It is better.
Okay.
It is better. It shined off your white hat quite a bit. Don't wear a white hat in here.
I mean,
Sure,
it never mattered before.
Look at my bald head.
Also, tune in for the crossover because this is going to trigger Nick.
Oh yeah, Nick's not gonna like this
If-
at all. Something has changed in here, and Nick will not have fun.
If you like listening to Triggered Nick,
Yeah.
you are going to love the crossover.
Maybe he finds a way to suppress it. Maybe not.
I
All
hope
right.
not.
Josh, what do we got today? on news?
Well, you know, the college football playoff, the semifinals have come and gone, and college football coaches, they seem to be a lot like you and me, Connor. Well, we've seen Urban Meyer eat that sad pizza in the back of a golf cart in 2013. Wow, 2013.
Yeah.
Um,
Have I told you that I asked Ohio State football players about that once, and they tried to tell me that it never happened?
Wow.
They literally lied to my face.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, "Do you know about sad pizza?" And they're like, "What? No. What are you talking about?" I got out the picture. I was like, "What? No, I've never seen that before." I'm like, "You're lying. You're literally lying." We can keep doing this interview because I think it's funny, but you're lying to me. It's
You're
okay. Yeah.
There's Derek Dooley, who choked down spaghetti and meatballs from a Tupperware container while Tennessee fans celebrated their win over Alabama.
Yeah, good one.
Nick Saban explained his night after.
Oatmeal cream pies?
You would think so, but
sad oatmeal cream pies?
Apparently not. Apparently Miss Terry, as we all know and love, we all love Miss Terry.
Miss Terry?
Nick Saban's wife.
Oh,
Terry Saban.
Yeah.
She told USA Today what the couple did after their loss to Michigan. Terry said, "Hey, do you want to watch the other game?" And Nick said, "No, not really." So she suggested the two watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Now, I think it would be fun to play the game of, hey, what do you think Nick Saban and his wife watched on Netflix after the game?
I think it was her pick, probably.
But it feels a lot like Miss Terry's pick because Terry Saban explained she and Nick have been watching a foreign film. Quote, and this is important, it's a quote, it's not me saying this, quote, "It's Turkish or something," she said, adding that having to read the subtitles would be helpful for her husband, keeps him engaged.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that is a good way to kind of lose yourself in the movie. That's for sure.
Get dialed in.
It's Turkish or something. So their reaction to losing the college football playoff in overtime was, let's go watch a Turkish movie with subtitles on Netflix.
Yeah.
Nice.
Missed a good game.
I get the sense that Saban will be, and certainly in his retirement, I don't think he'll have much of a role there, especially if he doesn't want to. I don't think he'll want to that much. But I get the sense that he's a pretty good compartmentalizer,
Yeah, I would think so.
I think he'll kind of just let go.
Uh-huh. Oh, yep. No, they're doing that thing over there. I'm not going to bother them. It's not the way I would do it.
He, of course,
I'm not gonna bother him.
He has the football coach DNA where like everything bothers him all the time. You're always worried about something. You have to be when you're a college athletics coach. But yeah, I get the sense that he can compartmentalize okay.
Sure. We go to Michigan for story number 2. City in Michigan said efforts are underway to have a pothole repaired.
Oh, good.
After a recliner had been placed in the hole, leading to an entire living room scene being set up.
It's not even pothole season
It's
yet.
not. The pothole off of North Beacon in Grand Haven, Michigan, went viral after someone placed a leather recliner in the hole, and local resident Corey Denny shared photos of it online. He tells a local news outlet, quote, "I saw the black chair. It was really funny. It was just outrageous. I posted it, and the rest is history, I guess." The chair soon vanished, with the city of Grand Haven clarifying that it was not them behind the recliner's disappearance. Denny said he spotted the chair on Facebook Marketplace with an asking price of $1,000. The chair was soon replaced with a different armchair, this time a blue one, and locals added furniture to the scene.
People keep putting chairs in the hole. Now, if your pothole's big enough to have chairs in it, it's too big of a pothole. Now, did they do the thing like those videos on TikTok where they just like fill it in? They're like, what if I filled this hole with a chair?
Well, it's interesting. They're probably going to have to do something like that because the director of the public works there in Grand Haven says that hole is on a private road, so the city is not responsible for the upkeep.
Yeah, you just got to fill it with the chair in it, I think.
Yeah.
Leave the chair there. And then when it becomes a pothole again, people just start running over the chair.
Sell bottled water outside the chair.
Yeah.
So, turn a profit.
It's good
on that crappy piece of road of yours.
I'm not excited for pothole season.
No. Although we got a presidential election this year. Is there a mayoral election this year? I don't think so.
I don't know how that works.
Well,
all I know is it's going to snow, and it's going to snow a lot. And then in February, it's going to keep snowing, and then there's going to be salt everywhere. And then in March, it's going to clear up, and you're going to be like, oh, what a great... and then your car will fall into a crater on Dodge Street just as it's been fixed. By the way, I got home in record time yesterday. The whole going west on Dodge thing, done. No construction. Not even a lane.
What?
Yep. It's clear. Free and clear, baby.
Dodge is free and clear.
Free and clear.
Headed out west.
Not a construction sign to be seen.
Oh, that's a game changer, Connor.
Sure is.
Thank you for that important update.
You're welcome.
Final story. Nostradamus is at it again. Just hours into 2024, Nostradamus nailed another one. The prophet of doom, the 16th century French philosopher, best known for his foreboding forecast, which he chronicled in the 1555 text Les Prophéties. 943 verses in that book. A lot of them are very vague, but Nostradamus has been credited with predicting everything from the rise of
Hitler, The Rock,
Hitler, the underhits, to COVID-19 and The Simpsons. This time, the Frenchman was credited with forecasting the powerful earthquake that rocked Japan on New Year's Day.
Yikes.
Outlining predictions for 2024, the oracle wrote, "The dry earth will become more parched, and there will be great floods." The psychic's followers reckon that could be referring to the 7.5 magnitude, I guess 7.5 magnitude tremor that struck the nation's western coast around 4 p.m. Monday. According to reports, There were floods that followed. So just hours into the new year, chalk up another one for Nostradamus.
What else does Nostradamus think is going to happen this year?
Yeah, it would be important to get that information out so maybe we could better prepare for it.
Just want to know. Also, his prediction's a little vague.
Very.
Be more specific, Nostradamus. Be like Josh. Say Georgetown's only going to win 2 more games this season.
That's better than a lot of people think, though.
It is better than a lot. It's not as specific as it gets. Like if you were really specific, you would say exactly how many games Georgetown's going to win this season. But you just say more than 1.
Nostradamus this year has predicted war on the water with China's Navy.
That's not good.
Red adversary will become pale with fear, putting the great ocean in dread.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. Royal unrest. The King of Isles will be driven out by force.
The Royals are going to be bad again.
Yeah. A new pope.
Oh, no.
Through the death of a very old pontiff. That's fairly specific, by the way.
Now, our pope is not very old right now, isn't he? He's not very old.
I don't know.
Isn't he Francis at the moment?
Yes, 87.
Okay, that's pretty old.
Pretty old. I believe there was a health scare last year.
Oh, my God. Now, what's Nostradamus' record? Is he like Clay Travis?
What's his win-loss record?
Yeah. Has anybody tracked this on a spreadsheet? Or are we just letting him predict and, when he hits 1 every century, we're like, wow, great job, Nostradamus.
Nailed it.
We'll have to get some research on that one. Josh, thank you.
Thank you, Connor.
That is the odd news. We'd like you to participate in the tweet bag. I know I haven't talked about it very much today, but it is happening. So we'll take your questions, get them fired back up at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed, or any other way you can get in touch with the show. We'll go as long as you'd like. So ask as many questions as you like when we return for the tweet bag coming up on 1620 The Zone.
I'm a fabulous driver.
The Connor Happer Show.
I'm one of the best friends you could ever have in your life.
On 1620, The Zone.
I hate you.
Remember, no matter how you listen, it's still AM radio. 1620, The Zone. Don't miss this week's Zone deal.
This week's half-off deal is Churco. Receive 2 $25 gift vouchers for just $25. From fresh pastas handcrafted daily to house dry-aged steaks and focaccia bread baked daily, Churco is perfect for date night or any night. Churco features crafted unique cocktails as well as an extensive Italian and American wine list. Churco, located at 192nd and Q and CIRCOOmaha.com.
Zone deals go fast. 9 a.m. Friday, 1620thezone.com.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here. I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and is the best way to protect that legacy. You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year. At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with a link.
Okay, smart.
Protect your legacy. Visit ready.gov/plan for the tools and tips you need to start your emergency preparedness plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys.
When it's time to replace or repair storm damage, make the right call. John Higgins Weather Guard, the local, trusted, and proven choice. No one has installed more Da Vinci roofs, and there's a reason why John Higgins Weather Guard is the nation's leader. Community member, community supporter. Make the right call.
John Higgins Weather Guard, the home of the rooferys. Make the right.
Frank, quick, the quicker picker-upper. Bounty picks up spills quicker, and each sheet is 2 times more absorbent, so you can use less than the leading ordinary brand. So you can get back to your night.
You
Bounty, the quicker picker-upper.
Hey,
Paid for by Uplevel Rewards. Paid participation and other terms and conditions apply. Add your portrayal.
Hey, where did you get all that cash?
You mean this $750?
Yes, that $750. Where did you get all that cash?
Since it's January, I went to JanuaryCash25.com and got $750.
You got $750?
Yes. Just go to JanuaryCash25.com this month and follow the simple instructions on the site. Once you finish, the $750 is yours.
It's that easy to get $750?
It is, but only in January. You just answer the basic questions on the site, complete the deals they show you, and get $750 sent to your Venmo or PayPal.
I'm always short on cash. I'm going to JanuaryCash25.com right now to get my $750.
Ready to get your $750? Get started right now at JanuaryCash25.com. Remember, this offer is only valid in January, so go to JanuaryCash25.com. Just go to JanuaryCash25.com. Follow the simple instructions and get your $750. Go to JanuaryCash25.com. That's JanuaryCash25.com. Don't wait, it's this month only. Go to JanuaryCash25.com. JanuaryCash25.com. JanuaryCash25.com.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620, The Zone.
The radio segment ever. It's the Tweet Bag on the Connor Happer Show.
All right, it's time for the Tweet Bag, the first of 2024. Get your questions in at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on Twitter, or the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Or you can email them, Connor or Josh at 1620thezone.com as well. Got a few coming in. Could always use a few more of your guys' thoughts. I'd like to throw for a little curveball here, Josh.
Oh.
Maybe Josh will have trouble with the curve.
Great movie.
Because I want to ask a question.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we'll allow that.
Who is Gypsy Rose Blanchard?
Well,
why does the public care about her?
To the best of my knowledge, and I have not kept up on this story as much as others, it is a person who committed a crime of some kind, some notoriety, convicted, recently got out of jail, and someone asked about goals or something to that effect, and her goal was
okay, before anybody asked her anything.
Uh-huh.
She was committed of a crime. She spent a period of time in jail.
Yes.
Why was there a documentary?
I'm going
was there
to
a movie?
assume
Okay. Okay, that would explain a little
sentenced in 2016 to 10 years in prison for her role in the killing of her mother.
Tough. Usually people don't come back from that.
Uh-huh. She was abused, victim of Munchausen by proxy, in which a guardian makes the child think they are ill all the time. So she said, okay, I got to take this lady out.
Okay.
It was included in the HBO documentary Mommy Dead and Dearest.
Yikes.
And the Hulu series The Act.
Okay, so if the answer is we are just obsessed with true crime stories, then I guess I get it. I mean, I don't get it personally, but like I can at least make sense of it.
I believe it is a true crime. The basis of a true crime. She got out, was asked about goals, and
True
said,
crime celebrity. Got it.
My goal is to meet Taylor Swift now. I don't see that happening, quite frankly. Keeps a pretty tight lock on that brand.
Well, I don't know.
I
Got
guess
some other friends now.
I guess I have seen Jackson Mahomes in a lot of pictures with her.
Wait till that one gypsy lady shows up in the suite in a couple weeks. You never know. Yeah. I just keep seeing this name pop up, and
It's
I'm like,
everywhere this
what's
week.
going on?
Never heard of this person.
Okay. On to your guys' questions at Happer Show. We got a few of them. And we got one or two coming in on the text line as well.
Wow. Connor bullied his way into asking the first tweet bag question of 2024.
Well, it was really pressing. I just really wanted to know the answer. I'm glad, like, I know more now. That's good. That's helpful to me because I was very confused before. So thank you, Josh.
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll kick it off with Jack John on Twitter.
What up, Jack John? Welcome back. 2024.
Connor, while I was driving earlier, I swear I heard you say you eat dinner at 4 p.m.
Preferably.
What time do you eat supper then? 10 p.m.?
Good one, Jack John. Good one. No, I eat lunch and dinner. I do not eat dinner. I only eat dinner and supper when I'm on the farm.
Iowa JD tweets in.
So, you're a dinner guy, right? A dinner,
lunch and dinner.
Lunch and dinner,
like a
right.
regular.
Do you know any supper guys? Poll question.
Do you know any supper guys?
Yeah. Do you know any people who say supper? Or yeah.
How would you like to work?
Do you know any supper guys?
Okay.
Is funnier.
It is.
Right. It may not get the best results, but it is definitely funnier. Do you know any supper guys? But like, do you know any supper guys? Do you know anybody who call it supper? The only people who call it supper for me is my people who live out on the farm.
My parents interchange the two.
Really?
But it always means the evening meal.
Right. That's the last one. It's our equivalent of dinner.
Yeah. No, I don't think off the top of my head I know any supper guys.
Supper guys.
Supper guys.
Supper people. Whatever you want to refer to.
Colloquially.
Yeah. Nice. But no, that's it. And I'll usually I've been snacking. Ooh, great snacks that I've had lately.
Ooh.
So right now, and I go through these just waves, right? So I'll get one snack, like probably 3 different grocery trips over and over and over. And then I'll move on to a different snack. Yes. So right now I am on the bag, the big giant yellow bag from Costco. It's called Honey Mustard Mix. And it is like, it's a variety of different nuts. It's almost like, it's like Gardetto's, but kind of a mixed nut mix. And it's got honey mustard seasoning flavoring all over it. It's fantastic.
Okay.
I will go through a bag about a week. So that's what I'll pull out as I'm watching, Colorado State play New Mexico last night at 9:30. And that could be my supper, theoretically.
Okay.
On to the next.
Not against a fourth meal or a midnight snack, whatever you want to call it.
Not at all.
Iowa JD tweets in.
Hi, Iowa.
If producer Josh and Connor each had to mentor one employee for a 1620 the zone style Hunger Games, who are each of you picking, and who do you think would be the best 1620 the zone mentor?
So I have to teach someone how to
win the Hunger Games.
And what's that? Fight for their lives, basically?
Yes. I will answer the second question first, because I think John Bishop would be the best mentor, because he has experience like working with his hands. Like,
yeah, he does.
I mean, seems like more of a man than a lot of us. Like, he could fix stuff around the house.
Wow. Okay. Experience. Yeah. He's got experience. I think our new boss, Mark, would be a great mentor.
I agree.
He's a good teacher. He's also a good listener.
That's key.
Coincidentally, I think he would be actually a really good mentee as well. But so who would I like to take under my wing? So basically you're going for coachability.
Yeah. Who's the most coachable?
Holy smokes.
Huh.
Maybe like,
would you say Josh Peterson is coachable because he has worked his way up the ranks and there had to be some coaching along the way?
Yeah, I think so. Josh willing to adapt to change as well. It's a good pick. Jimmy.
Mm-hmm.
Morning, Jimmy.
No, and just like I guess Hunger Games isn't a fight to the death.
You are defending yourself in a physical way, though.
Yes.
It's a tough one. I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know if there's a great candidate.
To be fair, to be honest, and this is going to shock people when I say this, I feel like I would be a good mentor of something.
Imagine that.
Of somebody. Yes. I feel like I would be a good teacher.
the audience is going to hate me, but yeah, I think you're close to right, if not right.
Okay. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Chris on the Twitter machine.
Hi, Chris.
You get to pick your dream dinner.
Oh.
What are you having? Who's the chef?
Chicken parm.
Who's on the guest list?
I don't know. Gordon Ramsay. It's cool.
This is essentially the last meal question yesterday, which someone told us after the show that's not a thing anymore.
Not a thing?
Last meals are not a thing anymore.
Oh, yeah, that they just basically kind of did away with them.
Yeah, because it was too expensive.
It was too expensive. Yeah, I mean, like, I would want the best possible version of a chicken parm. So whoever makes the best chicken parm in the world, or maybe it's just some old fat guy in New York or something like that. Like like whatever it is, I want that. Who do I want to sit with? Who do I want to hang out with? Eat some dinner with? I don't know. Tiger Woods, just so I could say big dog to him.
You still on the big dog kick?
I do love the big dog meme. I love the big dog meme.
Hasn't gotten you yet.
It's really, really good. I don't know. I have reverence for a lot of people. These are always hard for me to answer. I would love to eat dinner with anybody. I would love to eat dinner with one of you. Maybe we could set that up at a promotional event.
Wow. If only there were restaurants that promoted themselves on 1620 The Zone.
Eat dinner with Connor. I just like talking to people, you know? I like hearing their stories. I like telling them my stories.
Sales idea.
Yeah, interesting.
We're not on upstairs anymore, by the way.
Sad.
Went up there yesterday. It was music.
Sad.
Michael tweets in.
Hey, Michael.
What does Connor Happer listen to for music? Is he a top 40 guy? Does he quietly drive around playing NWA softly so no one hears it like an Office Space? Or does he like to discover new rock bands? What are your tastes? Your favorites?
So that's interesting. I was just discussing this with somebody last night about how much I dislike when people ask me what my favorite thing is, favorite anything, favorite song, favorite food, favorite whatever. Now, over my life now, I've come up with stock answers to these questions. So my stock answer is to the music question is always like Billy Joel. I love Billy Joel. He's my favorite.
You do bring him up.
He's my favorite artist,
and
I
it
guess.
fits with your love of chicken parm.
But like, I love my playlist is pretty eclectic. There's lots of varieties, genres of music from different eras, but it's all, hardly any of it is new, right? Hardly any of it has just come out. I think I'm past the point. People always ask, like, what's the point where you stop listening to new music? And I think I've just subconsciously reached that point. All of it's stuff that I've run into at some other point in my life. And I'm like, yeah, I want that song to be in my life more. So I'll put it on my playlist, you know? And so that's
we're not making bangers anymore.
No, not many.
That reminds me, did you hear your girl Selena's only got one more album left in her?
Really?
Yeah.
Why is my girl Selena? Why do you keep saying that?
I just heard in the office yesterday that's your girl.
The most recent songs that I've added to my playlist.
Oh.
Or artists, all right? Luke Combs. I kind of like Luke Combs right now.
I hear that name a lot.
Zach Bryan. He's got some good songs.
I hear that name a lot.
Now, that's a couple country guys are thinking, wow, Happer might be a country guy. No. Olivia Rodrigo.
Everybody loves her.
Frank Sinatra. Migos.
One of these things is not like the other.
Huey Lewis and the News.
Oh, can't hear anymore.
Panic at the Disco. Taylor Swift. Lil Wayne. Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Yeah, this sounds like a white guy's MP3 player.
I mean, that's what it is. UGK. That would not be that.
What's that stand for?
Rich Boy.
I don't even know that.
Maroon 5. DJ Khaled. John Mayer. The Ghetto Boys. That's just damn, it feels good to be a gangster. Tyler Childers. The Chicks. Look at that. Now I'm going a little far back now.
Rich Boy is 40.
Rich Boy's old now.
Need to be Rich Man.
Well, he was like, he did that song, Throw Some D's.
Don't talk to me about new music.
Throw some D. It's not new. It's like 20 years old.
Oh, okay.
Billy Joel, ELO, Adele, Lil Uzi Vert, Flo Rida, Doja Cat, Greta Van Fleet, Paramore. Who knows?
This is wild.
Yeah, it's like, who knows? It's all on there.
You're like one of those Bob stations if you travel.
Yeah, I'm like the Keg. We play everything.
We play everything.
Literally play everything. I bet I'd like the Keg if I listened to it, if I didn't have a grudge against it because I thought it should be 1620 The Zone.
We're so envious of their signal.
I know.
We won't listen.
It's crap. I only listen when it comes to Creighton basketball games. I want to hear John nice, loud, and clear.
On the FM signal.
I heard from somebody last night at halftime of the Creighton game. And it's like, hey, I just got into my car and John Bishop's really mad. What's going on? Like, well, Grant looks like crap. They stink right now. Just wait. I'm sure John got happy in the second half. I didn't hear it.
I have an email from Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Douglas. Do you own a pair of long johns?
The modern day version of long johns, like the knit, like almost leggings kind of.
Okay.
Yeah, I have those. I have those. I like those. Thank you for the question, though. But in the old school way of like long johns, like long underwear, no, I do not.
No,
I do not.
Let's see. There's one.
I got a couple on the text line if you want them to.
Yeah, please.
Jasker Todd, text back question. How long is it acceptable to greet people with Happy New Year?
Great question.
3-day limit before it drives me nuts.
3 days?
3 days. Today's your last day.
I'll go 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think it depends on how many times you've. If it's the first time you're seeing the person, like on the 7th, hey, Happy New Year. That's fine. If you see him every day from the 1st to the 7th, like you could stop after the first day, right?
That's a good point.
Situationally dependent, Josh.
Yeah.
Situationally dependent. Brian from the email.
Hi, Brian.
So can we show SEC fans how obnoxious they are? We just start chanting for divisions and conferences in all sports. Get KC and Cleveland fans to start chanting AL Central, AL Central. Raiders fans start chanting AFC West. NHL and NBA teams can chant Western or Eastern Conference. And of course, college conferences chant their conferences. Maybe when everyone starts doing it, the South will realize how stupid they look and stop. Yeah, Brian, I kind of think it'll have the opposite effect that you think it does.
Oh, look, they're copying us. Next, they'll be inbreeding and knocking their teeth out.
And the whole country becomes the SEC. It'd be sad. Anything else? There's a chicken parm email from Thomas here.
Oh, I got one from Mike on YouTube.
Thomas says, I like good fried chicken. I like red sauce.
Oh.
And I like Parmesan cheese. Never understood why chicken parm is the blandest fried chicken, the blandest red sauce, and some Parmesan sprinkled on top. Every time I've just come to accept it, despite the fact that I should like it. No place puts in the effort to actually make it good. Well, that's a good take.
That is a good take.
You could definitely do chicken parm lazily. That's for sure.
Many places do.
Many places do.
Hey, we got all these things here. Let's throw them together. Put it on the menu. Yeah. We'll look like heroes.
There's some spice in there, baby.
Mike on YouTube.
Hey, Mike.
If you were not allowed to discuss the 2014-2015 Kansas City Royals anymore, who am I supposed to discuss the 2014 and 2015 Royals with now?
I'm glad I got out of that yesterday on the crossover. And we ended up on another phrase.
You ended up.
Oh, yeah. We got to still come up with something for you. But we ended up on another phrase for me that I believe that I have not mentioned today.
People forget. You haven't said that yet today.
Exactly. So I'm happy that I get to keep the legacy of the 2014 and 2015 Kansas City Royals alive.
Someone has to.
Someone has to. I feel like I'm the only person doing it. I like to mention them a lot. Now, it's funny because the phrase that I'm now barred from saying and me talking about those teams actually kind of go hand in hand. So it actually might be more difficult than I thought.
I believe one of your first text messages to me was, people do forget that the 2015 Royals won the World Series.
I say that thing and then the 2014 American League wildcard game.
Mm-hmm.
Because they do. They do sometimes do that.
Yeah. But
I don't know. I'm happy. I'm happy that I get to keep that legacy alive, but I'll just have to do it in a different way now. You know.
What if you said something like, the populace is slow to remember?
I feel like that's cheating.
It does feel like cheating, but
just remember when September 30th or whatever it is comes around, I'm going to be talking about the 2014 American League wildcard game. It'll be the 10-year anniversary this year.
We got to do it up big.
Oh, baby.
I believe we have a reminder
And
in our
Josh is,
phones.
yeah, Josh has given me the permission to talk about it every year I'm on air here for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Sounds
It
awesome.
was a great game, everybody.
It was a great game.
Let the man.
Some people were sleeping.
Let the man have
because
it.
they were like, the sporting event lasted too long. I was just there. Great time. Andrew says Roma in Bellevue has a great chicken parm.
Oh.
Send me all your chicken parm, your area chicken parm recipes.
Please do.
Please do that. Jeff on the text line.
Hi, Jeff.
He has a thing that you could potentially be barred from doing in 2024 if you're interested.
Puking in the studio.
Looking for a little bit more difficult.
Okay.
Jeff says stop trying to cancel Nebraska basketball daily.
When was the last day that I tried
The
to
last
cancel
the last
Nebraska
day we
basketball?
were on air before yesterday.
No.
It's 10 days ago.
No. Don't lose tonight.
Or what?
I probably won't cancel them if they lose tonight. Although favored at home.
Could be a cancelable offense.
Probably let it go a little further.
By the way, speaking of Nebraska basketball, I've seen this pop up a few times today. Apparently there's a guy who and by the way, thank you for playing in the tweet bag today. Who follows the NIT and all teams that could potentially get into the NIT. His name is
NIT bracketology?
Kind of. And his name is NIT Stu. And so they watch all these games of potential mid 50s, 60s Ken Palm rated teams or net rated teams. They're like, all right, these could be our guys at the end of the year. So tonight in Lincoln is the NIT game of the night. Two potential NIT teams with Indiana and Nebraska, and they have a couple notes.
Okay.
8:00, Big Ten Network. And then here's a note that says, quote, I don't know if Nebraska brings the inflatable child to basketball games. And the other note says, Fred Hoiberg looks like he saw a ghost. News for NIT too. They do bring the inflatable child to basketball games. He's quite prominent. His name's Lil Red. And everybody loves him.
Poll question: does Fred Hoiberg look like he's seen a ghost?
No, do something with this child. Do something with the inflatable child. We could do something with that. All right. We'll be back. We still have plenty more to cover in the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. But first, the NFL regular season is wrapping up week 18. We are here. Wonder if the Chiefs will be favorites against the Chargers this weekend without Patrick Mahomes or anybody else. They're locked into the 3 seed. You jump in on some action with the FanDuel Sportsbook right now. You get $150 in bonus bets guaranteed, and all you have to do is place a $5 bet. $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. It's a layup. So take a look at the app, see what you like for this weekend in the NFL. There's not just straight bets. There's also parlays, same game parlays. The live betting feature is fantastic as well. You get paid out immediately. That's what's so great about the FanDuel Sportsbook. Head to FanDuel.com/Happer and make your first bet. Like I said, a layup, and not like one of the layups that rolls off the rim on a fast break because you were going too fast. It goes in. That's FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over, present in Iowa. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is now withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem, call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Chiefs plus 3.5 Sunday.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Email unsportsmanlike conduct on the Equitable Bank Zone inbox with whatever is on your mind, from your hot takes to what you think is one. The Zone inbox is brought to you by Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. We want to hear from you on the Equitable Bank Zone Inbox.
Margot felt quite exquisite as she dipped her fries in mayo, gracefully extending her pinky to the sky. See, she had just saved by getting Cox Mobile for her family. Yes, more lines, more savings, Margot. Brilliant. She finished her cherry slush drink with a triumphant... Exquisite indeed. Visit a Cox store and pay as low as $30 a line for 4 or more unlimited lines. 4 lines required for $30 per line price, max of 5 lines. Prices exclude taxes, device activation, and other fees and charges. Other restrictions apply.
J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers, offers exterior solutions that help you protect your #1 investment. Whether it's roofing and siding or windows and doors, they're committed to excellence, quality, and outstanding customer service in every step of the process. When it's time to protect the exterior of your home, your choice is simple. Turn to who the Huskers turn to, J-Tech Construction. Check them out online and schedule a free estimate today. J-Tech Construction, the official exterior experts of the Huskers.
It's the most time-honored tradition to start the weekend, grabbing a cold one from a local Nebraska brewery. Let's be real here. It's cold outside, and you don't want to drink the same boring beer as those Hawkeye fans. Drink Nebraska brewed beer, cider, or seltzers instead. Each week, we're putting the spotlight on a unique Nebraska brewery with One Beer Friday. Share your brew on social media with the hashtag One Beer Friday, and you'll be entered to win a $25 gift card to a local Nebraska brewery. Nebraska is the good life with great beer. Click Nebraska.beer to learn more.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long. And with Babbel, it isn't hard. It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
All right, Darren Ravel had a great idea yesterday. Thank you, Darren. He is full of great ideas. He was
His big holiday's coming up. It's MLK Day is right around the corner. Get some new merch.
He was simply pointing out what he normally points out. This regarding over the weekend, Panthers chairman David Tepper.
That's your guy.
Hucking a drink at somebody from his suite and not feeling any remorse about it whatsoever, and pulling out a half-assed apology yesterday.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is the worst. The worst. And Darren Ravel's take on it was this. For those scoring at home, finding David Tepper $300,000, considering David Tepper's net worth is $20.6 billion, is the equivalent of finding the average American $1.77.
Oh, wow.
Now, Darren, many people told him in the comments of, some amount of times, hey, Darren, they don't usually find people based on what their net worth is. And he was like, yeah, okay. I know. I'm just pointing out something interesting. Much like he was pointing out, like, what was he talking about? Like a Hitler baseball card or something like that. He's had some wild takes about stuff, just like really at the wrong times. So Darren's just really good at seeing it from all angles, I think.
He had a gambling lock of the year on January 1st, and it did not hit.
If we could find people based off of their net worth, I'd be able to do anything. And it would only cost like 80 cents. That'd be sick.
Yeah, what if speeding fines were
I could go
based
around,
on net worth?
I could go around like spit on people. What's my fine? 98 cents. Thank you. Keep the change.
It's a whole buck.
Like I say, I'll pay $1 for anything.
For you.
I think it's a great idea. I think we start doing this. But, all right. Okay. Now before the political people come at me. I'm not being serious here. I'm being very unserious. But just imagine if we started finding people based on their net worth. Josh, we would have the freedom to do whatever it is we wanted. We go 100 miles an hour on the interstate.
Yeah, my net worth is pretty low.
Cop would pull me over, and they'd say, "Well, it looks like your net worth is whatever your house is worth. Congratulations, and you now owe me $6.42." Damn it! It's like 2 McChickens. Fine, I'll pay it.
McChickens should cost a relation to your net worth.
Should McChickens cost less for me since I am poor?
Yes.
It's a great point. And then McChickens would cost more for David Tepper, who throws drinks at people and isn't sorry about it at all.
At all.
What if a McChicken costs $300,000 for David Tepper? You know, he said it's $1.77 for this $300,000 fine. If we just charged, like, David Tepper goes to McDonald's, or we live in this like dystopian society, and like you go to McDonald's drive-through and it scans your eyeballs.
Ooh.
And it's like, David Tepper, welcome back to McDonald's. Your total for a 10-piece chicken nugget, a large fry, and a Diet Coke and a McChicken is $450,000.
Ah.
David Tepper's like, no problem.
Here.
Man, this is crazy. This used to be only $400,000. Can't wait till we live in this dystopian society. So great idea by Darren Ravel. Another shout out to him.
I'll have to splice that quote. Great idea by Darren Ravel.
We'll come back. We'll talk Creighton from last night.
Kraton?
I think they're at an interesting moment. I think they're at kind of a fork in the road. I think they have to make a decision on one thing. I'll try and convince you on it when we return. The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley.
What in the hell is the smell outside?
Yes.
Yes. So if
Great
you are
question.
just going outside
It's money.
this morning.
You know what that is? It's money.
No.
That's manure.
Hey,
You know.
you're in a gots-to-go situation, manure, because it's awful outside.
It is bad. It is bad.
Mornings with Sharp and Handley. Weekdays 6 to 10 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy and seasonally chilly here for your Wednesday afternoon, with the high today in Omaha of 34, north winds staying light between 5 to 10 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies overnight and cold, a low of 21 with winds remaining light out of the north. Decent viewing conditions for a meteor shower here overnight, peaking tomorrow morning pre-dawn. Staying mostly cloudy Thursday, seasonally cool with the high tomorrow in Omaha of 35. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV Newswatch 7.
More with Connor and Josh after this.
We're going to have an extensive professional relationship, my man.
On 1620 The Zone.
Creighton Sports Update. It's a big upcoming weekend for Creighton basketball. The men's team will be at home in the CHI Health Center Saturday at 1 p.m. to take on Providence. Women's basketball hits the road to take on DePaul in Chicago Saturday at 3 p.m. To purchase your tickets and follow along on all things Creighton athletics, visit gocreighton.com. And that's your Creighton Sports Update.
1620 The Zone proudly supports Creighton Athletics.
Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill is your home for the big game. Whether it's the NFL or a rivalry on the hardwood, you will find all the action on Oscar's top-of-the-line audio-video system. With 40 TVs and massive dual projectors, the game has never looked better. Pair that with their award-winning char-buffed wings and $7.99 Monday through Friday lunch specials. Oscar's Pizza and Sports Grill has everything you need. 173rd and West Center Road, and for takeout at 162nd and Maple.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, But those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports. ramp.com/sports.
John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air is now open in Omaha, and we are looking for experienced plumbers and HVAC technicians to join our team. We offer company-paid employee health insurance, provide a company truck with innovative technology, and so much more. We will have open interviews Mondays and Wednesdays at our new location, 9321 J Street. Learn more at calljh.com/careers or call
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
By the way, just to be clear here, $300,000 for anybody is a lot of money.
He ain't going to be happy writing that check.
No. You don't just give away $300,000.
It's not how you become a billionaire.
From the YouTube stream. Josh, why don't you put that graphic back up that you had on there during break?
Okay.
This is from Ryan in Delaware. Hell in a Cell, Kimmel versus Rogers. I bet $500,000 on Rogers to win, and my net worth is less than Connor's. I don't, maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But that's good graphic, Josh. Just wanted to point that out.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good graphic by Josh. Also, did you see the special guest in the back, in the faded off into the background? Who's that?
Who is that?
Not me with the DEA riot shield.
That's the best thing we've ever done.
You have gotten a lot of run out of it, Josh. You have gotten a lot of run out of it. No doubt about it.
I should have put McAfee in there somewhere.
The Creighton women are on tonight on 1620 The Zone, as called and described by Josh Peterson.
Go get them, Jays.
At 6 o'clock against UConn, looking for their first ever win against UConn. I feel like it's been a bit of a, like, what are you laughing at?
I just saw JJ Watt's shirt.
Oh God, what's it say today?
TC Williams.
Super relatable.
Sorry, I need to derail.
It's been like this kind of, steady climb, I think, to actually get to the point for the Creighton women where maybe the shine has maybe worn off of UConn a little bit, and then Creighton's played. They had a game kind of stolen from them last year or 2 years ago. They should have beat them. I feel like the whole aura of it is at least a little gone.
Oh, you really just don't hear about UConn basketball.
Yeah.
Much.
Not really much anymore. And so
I know they're 12th in the country. They're still very, very good. They're
really good. They're really talented, and they're still like the traveling roadshow of women's college basketball.
But South Carolina's the dominant force. Caitlin Clark's the big star. LSU is hey, you got to see what they're doing over their team.
They had the aura, right? So like part of beating them was to get over the fact that you're playing UConn, you're on the same floor as UConn, and nobody could ever do that for a long period of time. Creighton's played them enough now. There's enough familiarity where it's like, okay, maybe roll the ball out there, see what happens tonight. So that'll be fun at 6. But let's go to the men from last night.
Just real quick, down with Gino Auriemma. That guy sucks.
Would you shake his hand though?
I would not.
That's crazy to me.
The guy's a bully. I don't like him.
He's a bully.
A bully.
Jeez. I have no problem with Gino. I don't really know anything about him. It's a cool name. I like the name Gino. Shout out to all my Ginos out there.
Chicken parm and some Billy Joel.
Hell yeah, man.
Gino.
He does wear cool suits, doesn't he? Or he used to. People don't wear suits anymore. College basketball coaches. Anyway, it'll be fun at the Sokol tonight. On to the men. Kraton went Heinrich Harburg mode last night.
Oh,
I know.
How could you, Connor?
Ever you can't say that.
How could you?
It's a compliment to Heinrich Harburg.
What do you mean?
He won all those games while turning the ball over every time he touched it. It's not as much as Jeff Sims, but he turned it over a lot. Turn it over.
Imagine if they go Jeff Sims mode.
Now, we are going to have some, like, first half, they turn it over 11 times. And you're like, what's going on here? We're going to have some real problems. I'm not really sure what happened at halftime. They
Probably
were
a come to Jesus meeting.
Yeah, something. They were a completely different team with completely different body language. And you're trying to figure out, like, what makes Creighton play good and what makes them play bad. And I think a lot of the times, and maybe especially around this time of year, when students are out and, you know, you got Christmas break and all this stuff and a lot of different things to focus on, it's really just focus and energy for Creighton. I just thought that was a lot better in the second half. But as far as how this team is composed, and sort of what their ceiling is, we touched on it yesterday. Like, it's a good team. They'll be on that top 25 sort of edge the rest of the season, in my opinion. Their schedule is a little lighter. It's a big game on Saturday against Providence. I don't have much doubt that Greg McDermott will figure out that offense part, right? I think they'll figure that out. But I think what they have, meaning they cut down on the turnovers, they'll value the basketball more, and they'll do what they have to do. But I think there's kind of a fork in the road for them. And they have to decide, knowing what you have on the defensive end, which is basically they're back to Kalkbrenner and nobody else. I mean, they are completely undisruptive on the defensive side. Trey is a decent halfway, you know, he's a decent one-on-one guarder. He can be a really good one-on-one defensive guy, but they need him too much on offense for him to really lock down the one on defense. So they have to kind of manage Trey. So basically what it comes down to on defense for Creighton is Kalkbrenner. You have him, and so you always have something on defense. Their defensive efficiency numbers are always going to look pretty good because you have the shot blocker, the rim, you know, shot alterer. So what it comes down to is you have to make a decision for your basketball team, knowing your personnel and knowing what you have. And there's two ways they could play it. I think it has to do with pace. So you look at Creighton right now, adjusted tempo. What would you think, Josh? There's 350 some teams in the country. Creighton has been known as this offensive juggernaut program for a long time now, certainly since they've been in the Big East. You think Creighton, you think offense, let it fly, that whole thing. And usually what comes with that is tempo. What would you think Creighton's adjusted tempo rank is right now in the country? Knowing that they've been slower this year.
Top 40, 30?
259th in the country.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah. So do you go full and say, we are going to be this offensive juggernaut team. We want to maximize our possessions. We feel like we could beat you with the math game, you know, from before. We're going to make enough shots, 3 versus 2. And you risk, you know, maybe turning it over a little bit more, but it's okay. You'll get it back in the back end. And you'll give up a little bit on defense, but you still have Kalkbrenner, right? And go fast. Do you do that? Or do you go the other way, which is kind of where Creighton, I feel like they've been in a middle ground for the last maybe couple of weeks here. And the other way is kind of the football equivalent is basically, it's kind of what Nebraska is trying to do on offense, which is you have this slow tempo, but it's really like it's really drawn up, it's really schemed up, and you have a good trigger man, right? Theoretically, you have Dylan Raiola, who's a good quarterback. It's Iowa with a good quarterback, but it's less freedom and it's more schemed. It's more what Purdue tries to do, right? They are really, really good and in the half court. Creighton has been efficiency wise similar to Purdue over the years, but they do it in a different way. They do it with freedom and reads and decision making and on the fly and all that stuff. And that would lead to pace and space. Or the other side of it is slower, methodical, hands-on, make a whole bunch of your shots because you have great shooters, but the possessions are going to be less and your game's probably going to be a little bit closer. But it also helps your defense, which is weak. They're 21st in adjusted efficiency on defense right now, but they're not. I mean, it's all Kalkbrenner, right? And like that's huge. I can't take credit away from them on that, but like individually, one-on-one on defense, you saw it in the UNLV game. Like teams can kind of just get buckets whenever they want to, as long as it's not in the general vicinity of Ryan Kalkbrenner. They can kind of just get to their spots. They don't force any turnovers. They're, I think, dead last in the country in defensive turnover percentage. They just don't get steals. They don't. Now they don't foul either. So like, which part of your personnel do you want to accentuate? I think a guy who's got lost a little bit over the last couple of weeks. Some of this is just how he plays, but given Creighton's tempo and how slow they're being, it's a positive thing for Trey Alexander. You've seen a couple games now for Trey, who has scored a lot of points, but he's done it on a lot of shots, right? It's not typical like Trey Alexander. I'm 6 for 8 and I ended up with 20 points. I got to the free throw line a whole bunch of times. I think he got 20 on 17 shots or something like that last night. Maybe that was the game before against Marquette. Hold on, let me just make sure I get that right before I go into my next thing. Trey, come on, give me total points here. 25 on 17 shots last night. Didn't get to the free throw line at all, surprisingly, for how much contact he was taking at the rim. But a guy who's kind of got lost in the whole tempo thing is Ashworth. Ashworth is a lot better with the space and, ability to kind of, get to a spot and shoot. He's not a half-court player. For this conference, he like, it's going to be really hard for him in the half court in this league with how he's getting dwarfed in size. So they got to get like, it would help him immensely. I don't know if that's a thing that you're like, we got to accentuate that piece of it. Miller's good either way, I think. He's an effort guy and a good rebounder. Shireman, is he better in transition or is he better in the half court? Gosh, I want to say he's been better in the half court. He's a lot better of a playmaker than I kind of thought he was. He's a leading scorer in the conference right now. Trey, I don't know, so that's kind of the decision, I think. I'm surprised to see their tempo is that low. I wonder, because that's kind of a big picture thought. I wonder how Mac thinks about that going into the kind of stretch of the new year here. And, frankly, schedule wise, like you have a little bit of time to sort of figure yourself out. I don't know if there has to be like any sweeping declarations about what you're going to do and who you're going to be, because you are, personnel wise, like you are still talented enough to just straight up one-on-one beat half the teams in your league. Right. But like, how do you efficiency wise get and accentuate the right pieces on your roster that you have? I think that's a question that you sort of have to think about as they head into the new year. That's how you beat UConn, right? And so it's kind of a choice thing. They could still be that type of team. They got to be more confident. They were. I don't know what happened. Second half Villanova, second half Marquette, first half last night. It's like, who are these guys? The turnovers are crazy. They are super careless and reckless. There's no focus, no energy. I don't know what this team is. And then they kind of flip it in the other halves of those games. So they got to get more consistent too.
Found the Avalanche last night.
Yeah, they got there in the second half. Georgetown provided some help.
Sure.
In that regard. Sure. Like I said, Ed Cooley year 1 defense for the first half. Ed Cooley year 2, maybe defense for the second half. Ed Cooley year 3, offense. Ed Cooley year 4, get people show up to the games.
Attendance.
Maybe, I don't know. Get there. It'll be a grind for them. They're not very good though. All right, Creighton's at home Saturday against Providence. We'll be back with more next on 1620 The Zone.
The best way to catch all the action is on 1620 The Zone. And no line for the bathroom.
Hey folks, Kent Pavelka again to tell you about your local concrete experts at Everlevel Concrete Repair. Now, if you have cracked, uneven concrete, Everlevel can fix it at a fraction of the cost compared to replacement. This is no Band-Aid. Their products are built to last. It gives your concrete the durable protection it needs, and there's still time. I chose Everlevel for my driveway, and I've got peace of mind with their long-term transferable warranty. Everlevel's products and customer service are top-notch, and that's why they've been voted Best of Omaha again this year. Say it with me. Everlevel, Everlevel, Everlevel.
There's, there to be, beginning, there's help as they're, being there.
This is Nikki Haley. Look, I'll just say it. Biden's too old, and Congress is the most exclusive nursing home in America. Washington keeps failing because politicians from yesterday can't lead us into tomorrow.
Nikki Haley, a new generation of conservative leadership.
We need term limits, mental competency tests for politicians over 75, and a real plan to defeat China and restore our economy. I've long said Biden's not going to make it, and a vote for Joe Biden is a vote for President Kamala Harris. Republicans need to leave behind the chaos and drama of the past with a new generation and a new conservative president. I'm Nikki Haley, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nikki Haley for president.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. What about those round trips that you plan in advance, which are perfect on your way there and perfect on your way back? Or those meetings with friends for which you make a group chat 3 months before so that nobody or anything is missing? Or your daughter's first birthday party. You planned it with such dedication that instead of the first, it felt like our 15s. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Sign up for local weather and emergency alerts. Prepare an emergency kit and make a family communications plan. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make. Get started at ready.gov/plan.
Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard.
Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope, and they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
Start learning a new language today. Go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
The Creighton women's basketball team hosts UConn tonight at DJ Sokol Arena. Tip scheduled for 6 o'clock. Catch all the action on 1620 The Zone with Rob Sims and yours truly, Josh Peterson. It's Creighton versus UConn tonight at 6 on 1620 The Zone.
KOZ and Bellevue, Omaha, Council Bluffs. This is 1620 The Zone.
I kind of think this goes back to takes from the break, but something that stirred some people up from the break, Josh. The thread from Creighton volleyball head coach Kirsten Bernthal-Booth about transfers and what the sport is becoming and all that stuff.
Oh, I missed this, please.
Oh, you missed this?
Enlighten me.
Yeah, she just kind of made a statement about the sport and where it's at, where it's headed, and
volleyball has a sneaky busy portal.
It does. Now, there has been, Texas is a team that has added many transfers, and they kind of do it every single year. And there were some comments made after the national championship about how to build a team and how to, the right way to do it and the wrong way to do it. And all this stuff kind of gets thrown into a pot and mixed around. And so people get confused when John Cook talks about, not building a team through the transfer portal and still wanting to develop and all of this stuff. And then he adds a transfer, the best player from Minnesota. And you're like, hey, man, what the hell? You can't do that. You can't talk about how much you hate transfers and then bring in a transfer. Let's make it very clear here.
You can't triple stamp a double stamp.
You can definitely, in this case, you can triple stamp a double stamp.
Oh.
There is a difference. There is a vast, I don't know how we can't see this because, like, once again, part 1,400,000, whatever it is, we don't understand nuance.
Not even a little bit.
I can't believe we have to do this. But, like, there is a difference between building a team from the transfer portal and getting, having your team be at the mercy of what is in the market every single year and not knowing what you're going to have after every single year, a la Colorado and or Texas, like whatever it might, like whatever examples they are that are not looked at favorably in the world of college sports because they're taking advantage of these new things like NIL in the transfer portal. By the way, whatever, do what you got to do. But there is a difference between that and supplementing through the transfer portal, which is a time-honored tradition since people have entered the transfer portal, whether they were sitting out a year or whether they didn't have to in the early stages of the actual transfer portal. We have so many examples of this locally. First of all, Nebraska's had like one or two volleyball. Nebraska's had one or two volleyball transfers on the roster like every year. They, that's how they do it. They
Whatever happened to loyalty?
Creighton basketball, one of the more successful teams locally. They have built this team. They're full of guys, and this is just generally, they're full of guys who have been around for 2 and 3 and 4 years, and they emerge into their stardom at whatever point they need to during their career, or maybe they have a year where they just had too much turnover, or they got to play some young guys. I mean, that was the case 2 years ago with that group's freshman year, Nemhard and Kaluma and Trey, right? That was the case. And they built, and they, all of a sudden Trey Alexander's just a dude at the end of the year, and you're supplementing him with sophomore Kalkbrenner, and you got Hawkins. He's a transfer, right? So like you add guys based on what you need, and you plug people in based on what you need in the transfer portal around your core. That's what the most successful teams do. I think that's how Matt Rule looks at it. From a football standpoint, you could see that and what they're trying to do in the transfer portal, do or not do in the transfer portal this year. I mean, I don't think that's how Matt Rule looks at it. I know that's how Matt Rule looks at it because he's talked about it openly. And that's literally what he says.
$1,000,000.
Right? So, like, we don't get nuance, and I guess that's okay, but it's never going to stop triggering me when we call out coaches for taking transfers in the transfer portal because once upon a time they said that they preferred to build their roster from the inside. They still are, by the way. They still are.
Whatever happened to just going somewhere, playing for 4 years?
And I mentioned the Kirsten Berthal Booth thing because I thought that part of it was, some people thought it was ironic, right? She does this whole tweet thread about what the sport has become and what it shouldn't become and all this stuff that's going around, tampering that happens in football and happens in basketball, and they get bad raps for it. And we don't want volleyball to become that. That was kind of the gist of what she had tweeted out. And then the next day she gets a transfer. That doesn't have anything to do with that, by the way. But people are like, hilarious. Oh, what? Huh? That's super interesting. What's that all about? It's like, no, you guys don't get it. nuance. It's okay. We can have a little bit of it.
Not everything is black and white.
Thank you, Josh. Not everything is black and white. It's absolutely true. That's kind of that's a take from the break that we had left over. Felt like it needed to be said again. It's January 3rd. We don't understand nuance. Part 684 is coming up in probably less than a week. Don't know what it's going to be about, but it's coming.
I've got a hunch.
Oh, yeah? Well, yeah. All right. We'll come back. Still plenty to come. The Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Hey everyone, Josh Peterson here from my friends at Kugler Vision. It is a new year and you deserve a new view. Do not wait any longer. Kugler Vision took great care of me at the start of 2018. They will take great care of you as well in 2024. Visit the website kuglervision.com.
Equitable Bank. We take banking personally. EquitableOnline.com.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
This message is from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs. If you were exposed to toxic substances in the military, a new law called the PACT Act may make you eligible for extra benefits and care. The PACT Act benefits veterans of the Vietnam, Gulf War, and post 9/11 eras. Learn more at va.gov/PACT or call 1-800-MyVA411.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. HIMS.com/RADIO.
The Creighton women's basketball team hosts UConn tonight at DJ Sokol Arena. Tip scheduled for 6 o'clock. Catch all the action on 1620 The Zone with Rob Sims and yours truly, Josh Peterson. It's Creighton versus UConn tonight at 6 on 1620 The Zone.
Elsewhere, there is late night hoops at Pinnacle Bank Arena tonight. Nebraska hosting Indiana. Now, Josh has been known as a person who likes to make declarative statements about the Nebraska basketball Cornhuskers.
That is correct.
If I were to make a declarative statement about them, I would say this. This is the type of game that I'd like to see them win.
Interesting.
That they should win, right? You're favored. You're at home. And so when you're building your resume, Robin, we talked about it with Robin earlier. Like this is pretty general stuff, but we touched on it with him. If you're trying to make an NCAA tournament resume, yes, it's about who you beat, where you where you beat them. Road wins are gold. What's the opposite of a road win? A home loss. A home loss is whatever the opposite of gold is. And I believe I offered poop earlier.
You did.
Is that a poll question, by the way? Did that get up as a poll question?
Is poop the opposite of gold?
Is poop the opposite of gold, or is gold the opposite of poop? Yeah. I mean, what is the opposite of gold?
I mean, I think you got to be pretty close, right?
Poop? It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's like the worst thing I could think of. Gold is like the best thing I could think of. Anyway, home losses are bad, and it doesn't matter who they're against at this point. Now, you get more credit for losing at home to Purdue, right? Sure. That's not the worst thing in the world. But you think about how the quads and the net works out at the end of the season, right? You get dinged more for home losses just in general. The better the opponent is, the less it counts against you. So for Indiana, who I don't know what they are currently in the net, they're 88 on KenPom. Usually it's pretty close. The net rankings currently have Indiana at, oh, never mind. That's Indiana State. Indiana at 102.
Whoa.
Yeah. Hello. When did they have Nebraska at, by the way? 64. That would not be looked upon favorably on a resume. So I know it's Indiana and I know it's Nebraska, but Nebraska's got to win tonight.
But rank masked, but no students, but meh. Sorry, just previewing tomorrow's show.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you'll have rink mass tonight. It doesn't seem like you'll have rink mass tonight. Nebraska's certainly worse without rink mass. Sure. It doesn't matter. Like, you got to be an NCAA tournament team all the time if you want to be an NCAA tournament team. And that doesn't mean like if you lose, you're dead. That's why I'm out on the cancellation thing from Josh. Doesn't mean if you lose, you're automatically bad, or you lose, you're done on the season. Like, the whole part about basketball is you get a lot more chances to do what you're going to do. But opportunities are opportunities. And so when you play the top 20, 30 KenPom teams and whatever, you have opportunities. Nebraska plays on the road at Wisconsin on Saturday. That's a big opportunity. They play at home against Purdue a week from last night. That's a big opportunity, right? And Indiana is less of an opportunity, and it's more of like a, hey, we should probably take care of business tonight. And that's
because you got a pair of ranked teams after this.
So when we look back, and we'll look back in 2 or 3 weeks, and Nebraska's gone through this portion of their schedule: Indiana, Wisconsin, Purdue, Iowa, Rutgers, Northwestern, Ohio State, Maryland. That's the end of January, right? You get to the end of January. There's top tier teams in there. There's mid tier teams in there. There's poop tier teams in there. What's Nebraska going to be? It depends on the results, right? A step to being a mid tier is winning tonight, taking care of business against the others in the mid tier. So do it.
I would think
that's all.
I would think tonight is not a cancelable game unless you just completely lay an egg.
Saturday, definitely not cancelable. You can't do anything. Wisconsin on the road, you just can't.
Okay. Now, you lose 3 in a row and they all look kind of crummy.
Yeah.
Then I might get on here and start chirping.
KenPom currently says 20-11, 10-10.
Okay.
In league. Combining that with their mid-60s net at the moment, that's like a bubble team. If you were like personifying a bubble team, that's pretty much exactly what. Maybe you'd like their net to be a little better, right? To be an at-large team, but it's a 20-win Big Ten team. They went 10-10 in the conference. They're probably about 6th or 7th or 8th in the league. Maybe they won 1 or 2 in the conference tournament. And they're like, what do we do with them? Are they good? Probably not. Do we let them in the NCAA tournament? Sure.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Why not? They're better than Murray State, right? That's basically what it comes down to.
The fighting
They're better than St. Bonaventure. They have to be. They played the Big Ten.
Put them in one of those Power 5 playing games.
I mean, if you look at the bracketologies right now, it's kind of where they're like It's kind of where they think they're going to go.
Then we got to start asking questions like, hey, if you win a play-in game, does that count as a tournament
Oh,
game?
I can't wait. That's going to be the dumbest thing of all time. I'm already pre-triggered about that conversation.
We're going to fight if that is.
That's going to suck. Please don't let that happen.
That's going to be a day or two of our lives.
Do not send them to Dayton. Please, God. All right. A phone call from our friend Random Mike. Random Mike, Happy New Year. How are you?
You too, man. Hey, we love hope.
We love hope.
As a sports fan, in life, boy, you got hope and you got a sense of humor, things are good. And let me tell you something. If you're a Husker fan in a lot of sports, there's hope. Hey, how about that game Sunday, man? Beating Maryland for the first time in Lancaster County.
You know, I came away from that game, and I told Josh about this yesterday before the show. Mike's talking about women's basketball, by the way. I said, I think they're a little better than I thought they were. The young kids are coming along. I think they're a twitch better than maybe I thought they were at the start of the season.
Yeah, and if you saw, I don't know if you saw the loss at Kansas, it was miserable.
I did not, because Creighton was playing at the time, but yeah, it didn't seem good.
I look at that plus minus stat they got now, which I happen to like, and sometimes I look at it and I think, boy, that doesn't match what I saw in the game.
Right.
But the only one that had a plus was Markowski, who had a lot of trouble with the big girl at Kansas in the tournament. Who, the big girl's an All-American. Markowski's played like an All-American this year. Would you agree?
She's been a lot better. She's definitely rounded out her game more than she had progressed in the previous years. Yes.
Yeah, and she had a habit in previous years of missing a lot of short balls.
Yep.
But particularly against good players. And she's definitely worked on her moves and maybe a little baby hook. And she's in great shape. I mean, she's a big girl, but she's running the court. Hey, good for her. But hey, what's the deal with Mendelsohn, man? We could have used her, don't you think?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there, but I guess she wants to play volleyball. From how it was described, I suppose.
That would make sense.
Yeah,
that would make sense. But it's kind of a betrayal of the basketball team.
Well, I mean, any person
on a basketball scholarship.
Yes. Volleyball was getting a good break for her being on the basketball scholarship. Yes.
Yeah, and she wouldn't have played, and we lost some really good transfers, in volleyball just because we got too many good players.
I know. These are the problems these are rich people problems for Nebraska volleyball.
Yeah, and Lowenstein going to Texas, and I don't know if you remember, Cook said about Lowenstein that she had more talent than any player he's ever coached. I mean, he literally said that.
They've had some
the way
really
she could move and the way she could hit the ball.
Yeah, they've had some crazy ads.
But hey, the hope for the men's team, and you'd never believe this after Creighton destroyed Nebraska, but I think there's maybe more hope for the men's team than Creighton at this point. You think? Particularly if Blaise Keita, I'm a Blaise Keita guy. If he can come back and be a contributor, he gives us something that we need. And let me say one thing, and then I'll go about Rank. I love that name. Rank is a hell of a player.
Rink Mast.
Yeah, it's something about these European Caucasians. They're like the best in the NBA, and he can do a lot of things. In that Kansas State game, he was fantastic. I mean, he sets a million picks. He can pass. He can shoot. He can rebound. He's just a really skilled player.
Yeah, they're usually more developed in the skill category by the time they get to college. Yeah.
So hey, let's get him back healthy, and with him, I think we've got a great chance of winning. But hey, and hope for softball too. So hey, there's hope, baby.
Hope
Take care.
Abound. Thank you, Random Mike. Appreciate the call. And I appreciate the profiling of many of our athletes. No, I'm just kidding. So his question was, does Nebraska have more hope than Creighton? I think maybe the nicer way to put this is that we know less maybe about Nebraska than we do Creighton, right? And Creighton's obviously coming from a different place. Nebraska hasn't. That's a quarter, Josh. People forget that Nebraska's never won an NCAA tournament game. So they're coming from a different place. They'd won like single-digit games under Hoiberg for each of the last, however many years before last year. So they're coming from a different place, and they haven't played as tough of a schedule as Creighton has so far. Creighton obviously went to the Elite Eight last year. So, expectations come with hope. But, I guess maybe you could make the case.
Expectations matter.
Expectations matter. for the record, like we said this before, I'm not offended if Creighton, wins one game in the NCAA tournament and bounces out, or if they make the Sweet 16 and bounce out. Like, I don't need them to win the national championship this year. I know some people have gotten fixed on that for whatever reason. I don't. It's Creighton basketball.
Yeah, college basketball ebbs and flows. It's not like the NBA where it's like, okay, we went to that round, and next year we'll probably get a round further, and then the year after that we'll probably get a round further.
Yeah,
once we are playing together and mature on the court. Like, it doesn't necessarily work like that in college basketball.
I hope there's hope. There should be hope for everybody.
There should be hope.
It's a brand new year. New year, new me.
Everybody in this state should feel good.
I am excited
about where their team is right now.
I am excited for women's basketball, though. We will have Jordan Hooper on the show on Friday.
What?
So Jordan Hooper, special occasion, getting her number retired on Sunday in front of, I don't know, maybe 14,000 people or so at Pinnacle Bank Arena. And she'll be on the show on Friday.
Hey.
This show.
Good get.
There will not be 14,000 people in this building.
There could be.
We could have a live studio audience.
Would love that. That'd be fun.
All right, we'll come back with more next on the Counter Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Don't press that button, Josh. The NFL regular season is wrapping up. Week 18, still time to get on the action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets, guaranteed, when you place a $5 bet. Notice the proportions. $5, you get $150 in bonus bets. That's an amazing deal. Win or lose. Take a look at the FanDuel Sportsbook app or go to FanDuel.com/Happer. You'll find live same-game parlays, bets. You can find them in the new Explore tab. Find the Parlay Hub as well. So much to explore on the FanDuel Sportsbook app or the website. FanDuel.com/Happer. Make your first bet a layup. It's easy. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL. 21 and over. Present in Iowa. First online real money wager. Only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is dollar withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Previously on Unsportsmanlike Conduct.
It doesn't seem like any of us are supper people in here.
I was a supper person.
I was
for a
too,
long
and I
time.
moved away from it.
I hate supper.
People who call dinner supper call lunch dinner, and these people trigger me.
Dinner is only lunch on weekend, on like a Sunday.
My grandmother would call supper a snack between lunch and dinner, and then sometimes dinner would be dinner, but dinner wouldn't be dinner. I didn't understand these etiquettes.
Unsportsmanlike Conduct with John Bishop and Josh Peterson. Weekdays 2 to 6 on 1620 The Zone. Your Omaha area forecast from the Godfather's Pizza Weather Center and KETV News Watch 7 on 1620 The Zone.
Mostly cloudy and seasonally chilly here for your Wednesday afternoon, with the high today in Omaha of 34, north winds staying light between 5 to 10 miles an hour. Mostly cloudy to partly cloudy skies overnight and cold, a low of 21 with winds remaining light out of the north. Decent viewing conditions for a meteor shower here overnight, peaking tomorrow morning pre-dawn. Staying mostly cloudy Thursday, seasonally cool with the high tomorrow in Omaha of 35. I'm meteorologist Caitlin Harvey with KETV News Watch 7.
The Zone Hotline is powered by 42 Degrees, The Source, by your mom's house.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting. A teenager. Learning the lingo.
Today I'm going to help parents translate teen slang. Now, when a teen says something is on fleek, it's exactly like saying, that's rad. It simply means that something is awesome or cool. Another one is totes. It's exactly like saying, totally, just shorter. As in, I totes love going to the mall with Becca. Another word you might hear is jelly. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will think you're, rad, just the same. To learn more, visit adoptuskids.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right, get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/radio. That's hims.com/radio for your free online visit. hims.com/radio.
I feel bad every time Random Mike calls in. I don't feel bad, I guess. But like Random Mike calls in and then we get a whole bunch of tweets afterwards that just quote some of the things that he said, like European Caucasians.
That's the random part.
And that's the ad. That's the whole bit, right? It's
fun.
Random Mike.
Yeah.
Steve writes in, what I took away from Random Mike's call, 2 big girls and a European Caucasian.
Just something about them. They do seem to be running the league right now.
I mean,
your guy.
They're advanced in skill.
Yes.
I was watching. Okay. Michael Porter Jr. Notorious.
Not Caucasian.
Correct. But he's like he hosts a podcast called Curious Mike. Now,
really?
What do you think he's curious about? He's curious about some things and how the world works. Notoriously, right? But I did one of the things that I watched over break was Nikola Jokic went on his Curious Mike podcast. It was It was a great watch.
How did he?
I mean, they're teammates.
That? Well, yeah, but I mean, still.
Apparently, Nikola Jokic is very accommodating to his teammates.
Okay. I mean, it just doesn't seem like something he would be interested in.
He actively hates media.
Uh-huh.
He talked about it. He doesn't want to go on any shows. He doesn't want to go on any podcasts. He doesn't want to do interviews. He only does what's required of him. And that's basically it. But he talked about his obsession with just his obsession with winning. And then in the meantime, in order to get the team to win, he has to figure out, okay, what do I have to do? That's the cool thing about Jokic and some of the best players that we have on planet Earth or on an individual team. They can be a chameleon for what their team needs. Do we need Nikola Jokic to score 35 tonight? Maybe. All right. Give him the ball. Let's see what happens. Do we need Nikola Jokic to, get a matchup with Jamal Murray on somebody? Yeah. Okay. All right. He's going to have 12 assists. Do we need him to run the floor? We need to back somebody down. Like, what's the matchup look like? He could kind of do all of those different things. And the thing about him is he could do it and he's 7 feet tall and he's incredibly skilled. Like, you just don't see that. But those are some of the most important players. So, like, while being the MVP of the league, in some cases, or to some people, while being the best player on planet Earth, according to some, myself, he is also the greatest glue guy on planet Earth, right? That's what every good team needs.
You do have to have a glue guy. It's essential.
Creighton's glue guy is probably Mason Miller.
Got to stop jumping.
Have you noticed this too individually, or did you just look at my tweet last night?
I saw your tweet and I said, he does do that.
But like, he like full, I'm going to just stand up. He like full double foot jump stops every time. Like, and I don't think it's been overly detrimental to his play yet, but I'm like, you can just catch it. It's like when you're a wide receiver, your instinct is to like jump when you catch the ball. You see some young wide receivers do this. They like jump when they catch the ball because they think they're making a play, like kind of on the ball, and they're aggressively like attacking the ball. And I think that's kind of what's happening here.
No, they laid it in there, guy. You don't have to leave your feet.
Like, you could chill out. You could just catch it. Yeah, that's cool. Like I said, I don't think it's been overly detrimental to his play yet, but it is reaching the point where it's beginning to bother me. But he's a great glue guy. He's a glue guy for Creighton, I think. Who's Nebraska's glue guy?
Oh,
let's talk some glue guys.
Oh,
I mean, we're talking about white European Caucasians and big girls. Let's talk about glue guys.
Welcome to January Sports Radio.
Yeah.
Glue guys.
Who's Nebraska's glue guy? Huh.
Sam?
I mean, his minutes aren't quite. Well, probably Alec.
Okay, yeah.
Wilcher would maybe give that a run. Yeah, they probably have like 3 qualifiers. Their minutes.
You know what they say though.
Their
Connor.
minutes are sporadic. If you have multiple glue guys, you don't have any.
That's right.
Interesting.
You got 3 glue guys. You don't have any.
I'd never heard that before.
Oh yeah, they're saying it.
I thought the more glue guys you had, the better. Apparently, that's not the case.
You don't want too much glue.
Why not?
Because you need some bona fide guys. You need some dudes.
Yeah, I mean, you can't have more glue than dude.
Poll question up at Happer Show. Can you have more glue than dude?
I don't think you want that. I'd like to see a team built that way.
It's all glue guys.
Just to see what happened. Again, they had a team full of glue guys, and they have no anything else. No dudes. I think by osmosis, one of your glues becomes your dude.
I mean,
at some point.
Was that Pistons team that beat the Lakers in the NBA Finals a team of all glue guys?
No, they had dudes.
Yeah.
No, they had dudes.
Rip was a dude.
Yeah, Ben Wallace.
Yeah. Oh, kids, go back.
They'll never understand.
And watch Ben Wallace. It was a shooting star. It didn't last very long, but boy, did it burn bright.
If you showed kids these days the NBA, like an NBA YouTube video from 2002, do you think they would like have a brain aneurysm? Do you think they would like just die and be like, what is this?
What's happening?
I've seen Kobe Bryant's highlight tape, but this is way different. Nobody ever told me about the Pistons.
Could I read you some scores from the 2004 NBA Finals?
They were all in the 70s, weren't they?
Game 1, Pistons 87-75.
Amazing.
Game 2, Lakers 99-91 in overtime. Game 3, Pistons 88-68. Game 4, Pistons 88-80 win, and finally Game 5, Pistons 100-87.
Hello. And then the league changed and decided that they were going to just make it really easy for offenses to score and not called defensive hand because it's a better basketball product.
It is,
to be completely fair. But there's something nostalgic about watching, thinking about those 82-84 2004 finals games.
Like whenever I see the video of the Malice at the Palace, I always look at the score and I go, wait, why does it say fourth quarter?
Fourth quarter? 50 what? Great times. Yeah, we're talking glue guys.
Glue guys.
It's January. Caitlin Clark, not a glue guy.
Not a guy.
Not even a guy at all.
Glue gal.
Not a glue gal, though.
No.
She's a star. She's a dude. A dudette. Right?
Yeah, she's a dudette.
Right? She's one of the people.
She's a Jane, not a Jimmy.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, I was trying to figure, do you still call if they're on the women's basketball team, is it still a glue guy or is it a glue girl?
That's a good question because, we don't say Lady Hawkeyes anymore.
No, we do not.
So do you just keep the terminology the same? So
glue player?
Yeah.
That's not as cool.
No.
Glue girl is good.
Glue girl. Still get that alliteration.
Okay. It's time to leave. Poll questions. Say what to watch on the other side on 1620 The Zone.
Big names, big games. We've got them all. 1620 The Zone.
Hi, everybody. Kent Pavelka here with why I chose Everlevel Concrete Repair for my driveway. They do it all. They fix cracks, lift sunken slabs, protect the finished product from deterioration, and all at a fraction of the price of replacement. It's not a Band-Aid like other repair methods. Everlevel's products are designed to last, which is why they've been voted Best of Omaha again this year. Better yet, it all comes with a transferable warranty. Protect your concrete before winter. Call Everlevel today for your free inspection. Everlevel. They make your driveway Everlevel. Level up.
My passion for the unborn comes from my own unplanned pregnancy. Dan and I have been together for over 45 years. We have 3 of the most beautiful children. My name is Marlis Patma. I'm the former president of Iowa Right to Life, and I'm supporting Nikki Haley for president. I've heard Nikki's story. She speaks with such clarity about the importance of life because for her, it's personal.
I am unapologetically pro-life, not because the Republican Party tells me to be, but because my husband was adopted and I had trouble having both of my children.
Nikki's a sister in Christ. She's pro-life. She has compassion and strength. I want a president with moral clarity who can restore our country, our pride, and our purpose. For my children and yours, please support Nikki Haley for president.
I'm Nikki Haley, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nikki Haley for president. Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor. And Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/sports. Ramp.com/sports. RAMP.com/sports.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people, and all the other people you need. At Union Bank, our people help you do more than you dreamed possible. So stop in and say hello. We can't wait to see you. Union Bank and Trust. Member FDIC.
Take a receiver off of the wide receiver wheel. We did not have that going, by the way, but we could have.
Okay.
Julian Fleming, the Ohio State transfer.
We got him.
Who was looking at Nebraska, is not doing that anymore. He'll be playing his final year of college football at Penn State. You want to talk about a betrayal, Random Mike? There, yeah. You're going to play at Penn State after being at Ohio State? Jeez. We didn't want him anyway. He stunk.
Nah. Total bum.
Nebraska looking at some other receivers in the portal. There's a big, tall guy from Wake Forest.
Oh, well, last transfer from Wake Forest. No, I'm sorry. I got my Georgia Tech Wake Forest colors confused.
Oh, I was going to say.
I only see teams in terms of color.
Man, that'd be a fun game to play. Nebraska's gotten a transfer from name a Nebraska transfer from school. Enter school here.
Ooh. Ohio State does come to Penn State next year, November 2nd.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
So does defending national champion Washington.
Nice. Ohio State got some stuff to figure out in the meantime. All right, poll questions at Happer Show on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We began with a flurry of poll questions from the crossover this morning. Drop the bean? ?
I like this idea from you.
We do New Year's Eve for the Central Time Zone in Chicago. which is the representative city of the Central Time Zone for some, maybe not for others. And you just propel the bean into the air and then you drop it when it's midnight.
I like this idea.
I say yes.
I think it would work.
54% say yes. Did the biker gang know who Ian Ziering was?
Not a chance.
No. I didn't know who Ian Ziering was. Certainly wouldn't notice him if he was driving down the street. 85% say no. Would you shake Gino Auriemma's hand? I want to shake your hand. Yeah, dude, come on. It's Gino Auriemma. Maybe Josh Peterson will shake his hand tonight. It'll be 10 feet away from him.
No, thank you.
Yes.
Not a chance.
55% say yes. Would you shake J.J. Watt's hand?
Maybe
Yes!
begrudgingly. Because you got to keep your friends close and your enemies closer.
75% saying they'd shake J.J. Watt's hand.
I just love your T-shirts, man.
That's a tough look for Gino Auriemma. Would you shake Rick Pitino's hand?
Most voted on poll question of the day.
Yes.
No.
I would shake whose hand? Oh, man. 57% said no.
That's right.
They would not shake Rick Pitino's hand.
Ain't touching that.
Likely because of the reasons Josh laid out earlier. Quote, I don't know where that thing's been. Do you know any supper guys? Now, some people have reached out afterwards and they've said, hey, I'm a supper guy. So, I mean, technically I do. Like all the people on the farm, though. I don't know any not farm people who are supper guys.
The Venn diagram of city slickers and supper guys is just two circles.
Yeah, completely separate.
Okay.
So yes is my answer. I do know some farm people. 57% say yes. They know a supper guy. Two more. Is poop the opposite of gold?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I think it's our first ever poll question about poop. Good job by us. 3 years in. 72% say yes. And finally, can you have more glue than dude?
I don't think so.
I don't think you want that.
You got to have one dude.
It's not a good formula.
Yeah.
53% say no. You don't want more glue than dude.
Interesting.
Those are the poll questions. Josh, what are we watching today?
Watching the NBA on ABC tonight for some reason. Bulls Knicks, because that's the game you would want to put on ABC in the middle of the
Knicks are back.
I guess from MSG tonight at 7:30. Again on ABC. Heat Lakers follows that up 9 o'clock on ESPN. College basketball, Hoosiers and the Huskers, 8 o'clock. Oh my gosh, take a nap before this one starts. Am I right, guys? BTN, the network you will be watching for that. Huskers at home. They are a 5.5 point favorite.
5.5.
What could possibly go wrong for the Huskers tonight?
I think they'll win, Josh.
Ooh.
I think they'll cover just to spite you.
Wow.
Casey Tominaga will look at the camera afterwards and say, this one's for you, Josh.
Please, that would make me happy if they did. I'm just telling you, every year I have to hear, this is the best, this team, this is the team, this is the team. And it is never the team. The Lumberjacks are in town.
Yeah.
Northern Arizona. Taking on the Mavs, 6 o'clock, 1290, where you can hear that one. Mavs, home favorite as well tonight.
Let's go, Mavs.
Women's basketball, number 12, UConn in town at number 21. Creighton, 6 o'clock start right here on 1620 The Zone with our own Josh Peterson. His first game on 1620 The Zone. Congratulations to Josh.
Our young son Josh has never been on 1620 The Zone before.
He is not. TNT has a hockey game tonight. The Washington Capitals host the New Jersey Devils.
Watch out for them Devils now.
That's right. I saw that over the weekend, and I exclaimed to my wife how excited I was.
People are excited about the Capitals right now.
Are the Caps back?
I don't know.
Is Alex Ovechkin still a Cap? I don't know.
Can't be.
Tonight on NBC, 8 o'clock, the series finale of Magnum P.I.
What?
Magnum and Higgins reopen a fatal arson investigation at the request of TC, and later must consider a major step forward in their relationship. I think Magnum and Higgins are getting married. The original Magnum P.I. with Tom Selleck, the one you've probably heard of.
That's the one I was thinking of.
Lasted 162 episodes. This reboot lasted 96 episodes.
I know a guy who has a television in his house and he solely dedicates that television to Magnum PI.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah.
I have a lot of follow-up questions.
Yeah. He's a weird guy.
Does he dabble in the reboot at all?
I don't know. I'll have to ask.
Okay. My question is, why do you stop a show at 96 episodes? It hits syndication and everyone gets paid if you hit 100 episodes. Why not just make 4 more episodes?
You just do the show, man.
We have a trio.
Like Bob Diaco said, players playing the plays and not necessarily the plays.
A trio of sports movies on tonight. AMC has a doubleheader starting at 4:30 that consists of Draft Day followed by Moneyball.
God, that sounds like a horrible couple hours of television for people who actually want to watch sports.
And then Paramount at 7 o'clock has Creed.
I want to be very clear. I love Moneyball. Moneyball is a great movie. But like, if you actually want to watch sports,
I want to watch some sports. I think I'll turn on Draft Day.
Yeah. Not a fan. Oh, look, there's Chris Pratt. He hit a home run. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's what we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you missed anything, 1620thezone.com is where you can find it. The crossover is next.
Live from the Host Coffee Studio, this is 1620 The Zone.
Email any of our shows anytime into the Equitable Bank inbox. At Equitable, we take banking personally. For me, John at 1620thezone.com. The Equitable Bank inbox from 1620 The Zone.
Host is roasting every morning. Host is roasting every day.
Since 1972, family-owned and locally roasted Host Coffee Service has been roasting the finest coffee for businesses and restaurants. If you're ready to change to a better coffee provider, it's time for Host Coffee.
Omaha's best coffee since 1972. Host Coffee is always roasting something good for you.
Paid actor portrayal.
I didn't see it coming. Life can be so unpredictable. After losing my dad, it made me think about my family if something were to happen to me. The mortgage, car payments, and all the other bills. Even things like our annual summer vacation would be out of reach. I had heard about life insurance through Ethos and how easy it was to get coverage. They were right. I knew it was time to stop putting it off and get life insurance right now. I got on my computer and went to ethoslife.com. In just 10 minutes, I was covered. And boom, family protected. Thanks to Ethos, my family won't have to worry about the bills if the unpredictable happens to me.
Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's GETETHOS.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, and the process is 100% online. To start your free online visit, go to hims.com/joy. That's HIMS.com/JOY.
I'm Taylor Bishotti with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. At 4-12, the Patriots host the Jets in their final regular season game of the 2023 season, and the uncertainty surrounding head coach Bill Belichick's future with the team is front and center. Belichick addressed the matter during his weekly appearance on WEEI radio, saying, quote, "I'm committed to the team that I'm coaching right now, the players that are here. They deserve my best every day, and that's what I'm going to give them. Just working on the Jets." Meantime, the Jets and running back Dalvin Cook mutually agreed to part ways Tuesday, according to NFL Network insider Tom Pelissero. The four-time Pro Bowler had just 67 carries for 214 yards this season after